Wake up to the sound of the daily grind. Morning laughs and news you'll find. Coffee strong and music plays. Kicking off these early days. The daily grind will blow your mind. Stories shared and jokes unwind. Moving up your morning time. Join the fun in the daily grind.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we got a couple of smaller stories. Again, the news cycle's pretty slow right now. Give me 1 second. I don't know why my camera always does this. There we go. All right. So on today's show, we're going to be talking about, there's an article from Windows Central talking about, I think Marathon looks fun, but is Bungie hiding the game's best features? We're talking about that. We're also going to talk about all leaks, upcoming heroes in Marvel Rivals Season 2. We were playing Marvel Rivals last night, and after we played near the end of the stream last night over on 30 and Still Gaming, we started talking about different leaks and different characters that they could bring in the game and their powers or whatever. So I figured a lot of people didn't watch that, so maybe I'll go back and talk about what we thought, what characters could come in, what kind of powers they could have as well for all the characters that have been leaked so far, again, potentially coming to the game. We're going to talk about what's coming to Xbox Game Pass this month and early next month. We're also going to talk about new sequels to Matrix, Beetlejuice, Gremlins, and The Goonies are underway from WB Studios. Not video games, movies. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about video game franchises are now ripe for picking, why Minecraft movie could lead to games taking over Hollywood, and why I think this is a bad idea because they picked the wrong movie to springboard this off of. They could have done this with Sonic. They could have done this with Mario. But because of what's happening with Minecraft right now, I think this could lead in the wrong direction for this. So I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on that. And then also, with all the talk of these extraction shooters, I want to tell you that Arc Raiders is also an extraction shooter coming out later this year. And all the other ones that are coming out within this year or already came out, and see where they are and what the landscape of Marathon it's coming into, right? Marathon's coming into the extraction shooters. So it's like, is it going to work for them? I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on that. If you like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, Eclipse? What's going on, Lady Gaga? What's going on, Big Mo? Water Bear, Wonder Rose, Sarge, Nate, Gaming Fire, good morning. Oh, I wanted to bring up, because yesterday, I don't know if gaming for gaming is in here, 48 Gaming is in here. Yesterday, we talked about the end of the stream yesterday, and then you said something at the end of the stream right before, and I couldn't respond, right? You said you're going to hit a thumbs down, which is fine. I don't care about that stuff, because I was wrong. And it's not about me being wrong. It was about the question yesterday that Sarge brought up yesterday, was that you had to have Game Pass because you have Live, because Live is connected. So you said yesterday that the Xbox Live Gold, okay, is you could buy separate, which you were 100% correct. You could buy separate. But we are also 100% correct because Gold doesn't exist anymore. And I just want to read this little passage for you, okay? So, yes, Xbox Live Gold can be redeemed for Xbox Game Pass Core. As of September 14th, 2023, Xbox Live Gold was rebranded to Xbox Game Pass Core, and any Xbox Live Gold code you have can be redeemed in equivalent duration of Game Pass Core. Okay, translation to Game Pass Core, or transition to Game Pass Core. Microsoft transitioned from Xbox Live Gold to Xbox Game Pass Core, which now includes online console multiplayer plus a selection of games. One-to-one conversion, if you have Xbox Live Gold code, you can redeem it directly for Game Pass Core on a one-to-one basis. No need to change. If you're already a current Gold member, your subscription will automatically update to Game Pass Core, and you won't need to take any action. So there you go. So that'll put it to the end there. Like, you're absolutely correct. You can still buy Gold, but Gold doesn't exist anymore, and Gold automatically transfers to Game Pass Core. And I would assume they do this because they made all of these cards that no one purchased before of Gold, and they're still out there. So instead of taking them off the shelves or whatnot, they just said, hey, let's keep them out there. People can buy it, and when they convert it, we'll automatically push them to Game Pass Core. So there you go. Right? I like looking up actual facts, not speculations and different things. Obviously, we give you our thoughts and opinions, but when we say stuff here, we try to back it up with some sort of documentation of what we're talking about. So there you go. What's going on, Altern? All right, let's start off. Let's start off with Arc Raiders and the upcoming Extraction games, right? So maybe a lot of people forgot that Arc Raiders was coming out, and it's another Extraction shooter on top of Marathon. Marathon's flooding the market right now. Everyone's talking about Marathon. They're losing their minds about Marathon. They're upset because they don't know if they can pick what sex character you are in a video game, which really doesn't matter. But other Extraction shooters are coming to the market or already in the market that no one even knows about. Okay, so Arc Raiders, the Extraction shooter that might finally bring the genre to the masses. Now, this is interesting because this game originally wasn't an Extraction shooter, and then they changed it to be an Extraction shooter. Okay, I was actually interested in this game when they first showed it off because it was a PvE game, but they decided to change it to a PvP VE game, which is exactly like other Extractions. And so it's holding a new playtest at the end of April. Okay. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, give you my thoughts and opinions. Then I get your thoughts and opinions afterwards in chat. So I appreciate you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member. Okay. The Extraction shooter discourse has been dominated in the recent days by Marathon, Bungie upcoming kick at the can. Okay. But it's also another game in the mix with potential to steal its thunder. Arc Raiders, with a PC gamer, Jake Tucker, said in 2024, could be an Extraction shooter that finally brings the genre to the masses. And that's what I think the companies are looking for, right? Marathon, Bungie, Sony, they're trying to get into that they're trying to make it broader. And I've said this in the past, and said it in the last couple days, last week, and whatnot. Marathon is trying to become what I compared to Dark Souls when Elden Ring came in. Okay, Dark Souls had this niche community. Okay, had this niche community, and everyone's like, if you're in that community, they're like, it's not a niche community. It's a niche community, okay? And then Elden Ring came out and broadened that audience. More people bought into that game than any other game from the Dark Souls series type of stuff from FromSoft because it was just mass appeal, right? It was easier to get into. That's what these Extraction shooters are trying to do. That's what Arc Raiders is trying to do. That's what Marathon is trying to do, okay? It says whether or not that happens remains to be seen, but will it all move one step closer to figure out on April 30th, which will mark the kickoff of new Arc Raiders tech tests in the largest playtest thus far. To get into the tests, all you have to do is request access on Steam, or if you're on console, if you want to use Epic Store, Game Store at arcraiders.com. You'll also be notified via email to be granted access until you were a previous Arc Raiders playtester on Steam, in which in case you can automatically, but won't get a notification about it. Okay, developer Embark Studios said that access to the tech test will be granted randomly, and invitations will should be shared throughout the test. So even if you don't get into the first day, you might be asked to join later. This will also be the first Arc Raiders test that isn't confidential, so testers can stream it, talk about it, post about it, and social media wherever it is. And now, isn't this happening during the exact same time as Marathon? Because Marathon's opening up their test, which is under NDA, and you can't talk about it. Sure. No, I'm sure nothing will actually be leaked at all about Marathon during the under NDA tests, right? And then Arc Raiders is being tested around the same time as well. It says you can talk about it, post about it, social about it. And maybe, hopefully, there's also a good reason for that. It's also our man Jake spent a few hours with the earlier closed beta and came away impressed, declaring that Arc Raiders could be something very special indeed, a more accessible Extraction shooter with a friendlier aesthetic, and that also can still deliver a pulse-pounding spectacle of Tarkov players crave. A release date hasn't been set yet. Wouldn't this be hilarious? Because it is coming out this year. It's coming out in 2025. Wouldn't this be funny if they came out, I don't know, like the week before Marathon? Right? I mean, if they're ready to go, Arc Raiders just sits back and goes, all right, well, Marathon has their date. It's the same day as Borderlands. Why don't we at least release before it? Right? I said this yesterday, right? There's like 30 days in the month. 30 days. You can pick any of those days. You could release on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, right? You can early access on a Saturday, whatever. There's so many days you could pick from, but everyone picks the exact same day for some reason. Obviously, it's got to be a business decision with the end of the term or whatever, okay? But not only is Arc Raiders coming out, okay, but I want to show you other ones, okay? So several Extraction shooter games are on the horizon. Marathon from Bungie is the highly anticipated title in 2025 release date, as shown on YouTube. Now, Arc Raiders, also slated for 2025, offers a post-apocalyptic experience, which is a focus on machines and survival. Okay, the Forever Winter, with a September 2024 release, focuses on post-apocalyptic co-op extraction shooter. Dungeonborn, a fantasy PvPvE extraction game, is another option with a July of 2024 release, right? So I don't know if these are already released, but you have Marathon, you have Arc Raiders, you have Forever Winter, you have Dungeonborn, you have Shell Runner, you have Exoborn. You have all of these newer extraction shooters on top of the older extraction shooters. And let me tell you something, none of these might make it. None of these might make it because the old ones already have a grip on the industry, right? The Tarkovs of the world, the Hunt Showdowns of the world, they have a majority of those. And then the people that want to play an extraction but they don't want to play PvP, Helldivers is locking that down pretty good, right? Helldivers is locking that down pretty good. Hell, even Starship Troopers, even as small, that's a niche, that's a smaller community, right? That's an extraction as well, right? You got to fight and get yourself off the planet within the time limit or whatnot, right? That's another PvE extraction. So there's PvE extractions, there's PvPvE extractions, and then there's the established extractions that have already taken the market. Now, could Marathon, could Arc Raiders be that one that takes over and finally breaks in to the extraction market, the major extraction market? I don't know. That's for everyone else to decide if they like it or they don't like it. But if you ask me, there's a shit ton of extractions coming out. And just like a movie, we talk about movie theaters all the time, or movie companies all the time. They release 10 movies a year. Okay, 10 movies a year. 7 of those will bomb. 7 of those will not make money. They will not exist. No one will ever talk about those movies again. Okay, then you have 2 movies that are of the left of the 3 that will make a profit, just barely break even, and people will remember those movies. All right, and then you have the one blockbuster. Okay, are one of these games that are coming out in the industry, Marathon, Arc Raiders, Forever Winter, Dungeonborn, Shell Runner, Exoborn, right? Obviously, some are already out, some are coming out. Is one of these going to be that one blockbuster that actually breaks into the industry, or is it just going to be another bypass of what's next? What have you done for me lately? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think in the live chat. These are just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know yours. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Let's see here. Waterbear says, to be honest, this will just put more limelight on Arc Raiders because PvE extraction, which is a lot more interesting. Well, it's PvE VP, right? It's still PvP. It's just a different. It's not just PvE. If it's just PvE, then I'm interested in Arc Raiders, but I'm pretty sure it's a PvP VE, is it not? Didn't I read that? Yeah, I still think it's a PvPvE. It's just doing something a little bit different. Eclipse says it's very good. It's definitely what Marathon is competing against, and it's one of the best extraction shooters I've ever played. Well, there you go. Travis, what's going on, Travis? So Elden is to blame for the dime a dozen Souls-like other reasons to hate it. No, Elden Ring is not the dime a dozen Souls games. Elden Ring is the one that's breaking into the market. Souls games are Souls games. They're all over the place, but Elden Ring went up to the next level to broaden the audience. There's still just niche communities. Like even the new one that came out, what was it? The Barbarian one, the Khan one. What was that one called that you guys just played? That just came out? Right? That's still a niche community, right? Those types of games are niche, but they're getting more popular, and Elden Ring just sold more. Like, that game might sell 2 million copies. Elden Ring sold 25 million copies. Barbara says, I signed up yesterday on Steam. Nate Dizzle said, how you sign up on the console for Arc Raiders? I don't think you can. I think it's just PC right now, isn't it? It says it's just on Steam right now. I don't think you can do it. If you go to arcraiders.com, maybe they'll give you something, but the playtest is just on Steam right now. What's going on, PS5 Ballers? Roadkill says, what's going on? What's going on, Roadkill? Kylo, good morning. Kylo says, morning, guys. Damn it, the Doom limited edition on Xbox controller sold out before I had a chance. Sold out in minutes. What's going on, Argus? Good morning. Jay Breezy, good morning. Just bring back the day before. Hey, we should have a competition. If you had to, it's like an elimination round. If you had to bring back one game, would you bring back Concord or the day before? Eclipse says, is that the game Marathon's competing against? I didn't know how Marathon plays, but I know how this game plays, and it's very good, very clean. It was also surprised how good the performance was, and it was a beta. Let's see. Argus says, none of the special edition controllers entice me anymore because I've never even used a regular controller again. I only use the regular controllers, and I can't... Look, I come from old school. I can't imagine paying $100 for a controller. I wait for the controllers to go on sale, and then I buy like 2 of them for $100 or less than $100 just so I have a spare controller. I've never had a controller with the back paddles and stuff like that because I'm afraid if I go that direction, it's sort of like watching like, you know, once you watch a 2K or 4K, you don't want to go back to like 720p or 1080p, you know what I mean? Drumman, what's going on? Good morning. Let's see. Eclipse says the last Epoch season starts tomorrow. Can't wait. Robert Jones, good morning. Roadkill says, Marathon can go suck my big fat ball PlayStation. What the fuck are you doing? Building another copycat of fucking Concord. See, I don't know if it's a copycat of Concord, because Concord wasn't Extraction. It was a hero shooter. It was a hero shooter. I don't know. I think by the Bungie name alone, I said this yesterday or last week, I said Bungie, or it was Monday, Bungie's name alone can carry the name for a bit, right? Give them a little bit of goodwill. Yeah, that's it, Waterbear. The Berserker. Yeah, Nate. Altered says, like one dude I found on Twitter said, Marathon is different philosophy. They are not good for the extraction market, but new audience unique to them to stand out. Dude ate all the marketing. Argus says people started making Souls adjacent games well before Elden Ring. It was likely Dark Souls 3 that set off the trend. Correct. It wasn't Elden Ring. Elden Ring just broadened the audience for more people, which actually I think helped all the other games that came out after, you know, Dark Souls 3, as you're saying, Argus, after Dark Souls 3 came out and other people started making those types of games. I think because of Elden Ring, everyone was like, "Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna try that. Maybe I'm gonna try that thing." Jay Breeze says, "Day before." I'll take day before. The day after. Roadkill says, "Yeah, with the back paddles, I can't even use a regular controller anymore. I went to PlayStation DualSense Edge, and they made loved bits and ain't never leaving." Right. So they sell you the thing, you get the thing, and then they condition you where you have to, you're like justifying to yourself, like, if this controller breaks, I'm going to pay for another, what is it, $160, $150, whatever it is. I can't do that. I can't do that right now. Especially with all the controllers, how easy they break. I don't know. Argus says, Mike, I've bought my fourth $200 Elite Series 2 controller. Go through them every 2 years or so because of wear and tear. Yeah, see? I would rather spend, because the controllers last me about the same, about 2 years, right? And then I just swap them out again. Waterbear says, I believe Marathon will also be okay because Bungie is behind it. Agreed. If the gameplay is great, then it will also become popular. Hopefully, they have a feature that makes it stand out. We're going to go over an article from Windows Central. I think they say some stuff in there. I haven't looked at it yet. Robert Jones says, I bought a Scuff, and that shit drifted a year later. See? That's what I'm saying. Roadkill says, Elden Ring is the only Dark Souls game I've ever played or bought, and I'm not going to buy that new Welden Ring. Multiplayer bullshit. Yeah, 200. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. Like, I'm not. It's like you won't let go of the money when you hand it over. You're like, no, that's all right, fine, $200. Roadkill says, yeah, but man, I can jump and spin around at the same time without taking my fingers off the controller. You know what that is in the fucking Call of Duty. That's primetime gaming. Yeah, see, the difference between me and you, Roadkill, is at this point, I don't give a shit anymore, right? Because even if I could do that, someone that's cheating is going to kill me anyway. I'm going to be like, that guy's cheating. So I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I don't need to be the godsend from first-person shooter. I know I'm good. I'm not great, okay? I'll just play my role, right? I'll just play my role. I'll let you guys do the no scope 360 type stuff and feel awesome. I'll just play the game. Argus says, I've gotten used to the quality of life of having a back paddle buttons. Of course you do. Trigger and stops. I can't play games with a normal controller anymore. Right. You get conditioned and conformed into that, and that's what you have to pay for. So now that's what they do, right? Make the problem, sell the solution. They made a cheaper controller. You paid for that, but then they add benefits to the bigger controller, charge extra money, get more money out of you, okay? And then you're conditioned to buy that. And if you like it, I'm not making fun of anybody, right? Go ahead and buy it. I don't want to do it because I know as soon as I get that controller, I'll never want to go back to the cheaper controller. I don't know I have a problem until you know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, 720p and 1080p, if I bought a 720p television, it looked fine. But if you put that shit next to a 1080p, you're like, what the hell am I looking at? But if I don't know, I'm just going to, I'll be good. You know what I mean? Warburton says, what makes it feel different from the $50 controller and just use keyboard and mouse? Dustin says, I'm buying Elden Ring multiplayer to add to my collection. Alterin says, $200 for a controller. Damn. That's around 2 Nintendo Switch 2 games. Right. Or that's half of a Nintendo Switch. Yeah, we had pretty good games last night. I don't know if I like Emma Frost. I have to use her more. And I was glad that you guys let me use Emma Frost last night to get my thing completed. Argus was doing really good with her last night. Robert Jones says, I'm too old to get good at mouse and keyboard. That's the spirit, Jones. Just give up. Waterbear says, Sarge, grape Kool-Aid is trash. All about the tropical punch and pink lemonade. Eclipse says it's crazy. I played a lot of the PvP games, and I never run into cheaters, but it seems like Travis runs into them all the time, and they barely plays PvP apparently. I don't know. The last time we played like a lot of Battlefield 2042 with the crossplay, it seems like we were getting shot, and this is months ago when we played last. When I was playing with Aku, that we were getting shot behind cover, and we're like, how the hell are we getting hit? So it's a little sus, but it doesn't ruin I just keep playing. Like I said, cheating in video games is like being in Florida, living in Florida. When you look at a body of water, you just assume that there's a gator in there. When you play a PvP game, you just assume there's a cheater in the lobby. Eclipse says, I love Emma Frost. She is definitely my favorite tank now. Let's see. Kylo says, I think I got it on Amazon. A limited controller. It still has a 25th anniversary and starter controller in a box. I use my Forza Horizon 5 edition. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play her more. You know what it is? I can't. It's really hard for me to not play Cap. I really like playing Cap. Crowd says, you're not too old for mouse and keyboard. You've only been doing it for a few years. Changed my life. It's so fucking good. I feel like it's a commercial. Are you old? Do you feel like you don't have the reaction time for mouse and keyboard? Well, I'm here to tell you that just in a few years, it changed my life. Fucking mouse and keyboard. Jason says, cheaters have been around since Quake, Unreal Tournament, and Counter-Strike 1.6 days. Nothing you can really do about it. Right. You can just bitch about it. You can be like, that's a fucking cheater. If it is or isn't, it just makes you feel better. You're like, I got sniped. That guy's cheating. That's all you do. You're like, I can't deal with this. And then you just hunt it down. See, before gaming in modern day, you would just make your own goal. See, when I used to play Bad Company and stuff back in the day, or any other multiplayer game, and someone sniped me from across the map, I made it my objective for the rest of the match. It doesn't matter what we were doing with the rest of the team. I'm like, this dude just sniped me from across the map. I'm going to find him. Okay? And if someone teabagged you, Operation Murder Teabagger. Okay, that's what it would do. You'd say, this guy just teabagged me. Everyone on your team's like, what's his name? And then everyone just went over to him. And then we took care of it. Right? Travis says, you know what game will be good? That's right. Cosmic Invasion. How do you know? It'll be good because it's not PvP. I mean, I'm happy about the arcade Marvel game that's coming out, Travis. But that's a weekend play, right? That's not a 100-hour game. That's a 20-hour game. Roadkill says, fuck mouse and keyboard. How are you even playing video games when you're on a mouse and keyboard? Like, I feel like I'm at fucking work. Oh, wait a minute. No one's sanding cabinets, Roadkill. You're not using a keyboard. Come on now. If you had a sander, maybe if you're playing Nintendo Switch 2 and you have that mouse and you're using the Joy-Con as a mouse, then maybe you feel like, well, I guess maybe the mouse itself, you feel like you're sanding cabinets or something. Maybe. I could see it. I take it back. All right, maybe you're at work. You feel like you're at work. You're moving the mouse around. You're like, flashbacks, PTSD. I'm sanding cabinets. Crowded says, I think most people are overwhelmed themselves by trying to learn mouse and keyboard. You got to start simple. Don't try to jump into Destiny, for example. I like mouse and keyboard. There's certain things, like I can't play Minecraft with a controller. I cannot. I have to play Minecraft with mouse and keyboard. Gotta play it with mouse and keyboard. Building's faster. Everything's faster. Okay? The only thing I don't like, and obviously when you're playing mouse and keyboard, you got to make sure you got... like when I'm standing right now on my desk and I put my hands on the thing, my arms are even with the desk so I can use the mouse and whatnot. It doesn't hurt my wrist. You know what I mean? But if you do it for long periods of time, you start getting like carpal tunnel and shit like that. Waterbear says, Cosmic Invasion will be maybe 10 to 15 hours. It'll also be enjoyable, probably short game. Yeah. Well, if you're leveling up each of the characters like you do in Teenage Mutant Turtles, I would say it's about 20 hours, right? All depending on how many characters you have. Yeah, it's a 4-player. No, it's 4 players. I believe it's 4 players. It might be 6 players. No, I think it's 4 players. It might be just 4. It might be just 4 players. I'm not sure. It's definitely 4. I'm not sure if it's 6. Krebsy says the best tanks in the M1 Abrams is the 3rd generation American-made battle tank designed by Chrysler Defense. Now General Dynamics land systems. Yes. This is copy pasta. What are we talking about? Where do we go? Fucking Krebsy. Krebsy's going down. Krebsy's going down the rabbit hole.
Oh, where I land, I do not know.
Where are you, Krebsy?
But here I fall down the rabbit's hole.
Krebsy, come back to us. Talking about like tanks and stuff. What are we doing? I mean, if that sounds gay to you, when someone does that into a video game, I want to make sure I get his tags. That's all. Sneak up behind him and just, just saying. Sarge says, we went after Teabaggers so bad we made them rage quit. The team would just gang... It's exactly right. You would see the entire team. I shit you not. So we used to play with a group of people, right? So it's 4 per team or whatever. We would have a whole party chat. We would have 12 people in our group. If someone got teabagged in any way, shape, or form in the game, we would say, this person did this. And the whole team would go and find this person. And we're like, I found him. And they're like, and everyone's doing this. They would do it so much, and we would do it over and over and over and over. Kill him again. Do it again. Kill him again. Find him again. Do it again. They would just leave. And then you get messages. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. That's how you build character. That's how you build character. Clip says, yeah, the 15 characters is awesome. Definitely makes me want to worth whatever price it is. Yeah, I think it'll probably be like a $30 game. $20, $30 game. Mouse and keyboard is just like a point and click type of your keyboard. How is that fun? I mean, tell me you don't play games on mouse and keyboard without telling me you don't play mouse and keyboard. I mean, Krabby says modern games wouldn't survive Xbox 360 COD, Halo lobbies. Yeah, no. Let's even go farther, a little farther back. SOCOM lobbies were the start. That lobby, like, I'm much more involved in my son's gaming, like, to understand what he's playing. Okay, my parents never did that. We plugged that internet port into our PlayStation, and we started playing. Woo-hoo. The voices and stuff that came out. There was no parent supervision. But I was older. Right? But man, right? The SOCOM lobbies, man, that was a gauntlet. Yeah, that was a gauntlet. If my son played that today, if that was today, and my son would be like, "What does this mean?" I'd be like, "What? Who said that to you?" Yeah, the headset was included with the game. I don't even know what that is. What did he say he'd do to you? He did what with your private parts? What? Oh my God. Yeah, it was brutal. All right, let's go from Arc Raiders to Marathon Talk. All right, let's go to the Marathon Talk. I think Marathon looks fun, but Bungie's hiding the game's best features. Now, I always think it's fun when you try to market your game and try to, like, not tell people what's interesting about it. Because that's what everyone's wondering. They're like, why is Marathon going to be different? And they're like, trust me, bro. Trust me. Okay? If you guys like what I do here, we just do this Monday through Thursday, 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Let's see if we can get the like up to at least 20. Can we get 20 likes? There's 30 of you here. We can get 20 likes. We have 12 right now. All right, so I think Marathon looks fun, but if Bungie is hiding game's best features. So Bungie's Marathon reportedly has raid-like mechanics to do amidst a PvP action. Okay. It says, following a recent string of alternative reality games, puzzle discovered and solved by fans, developer Bungie gave players the first in-depth look at the upcoming multiplayer game Marathon. First revealed this spring in 2023, the PvP-focused extraction shooter reboot is now officially slated to release this year on Xbox Series X, S, Windows PC, and PlayStation 5 on September 23rd. And this is the first new game from studio since 2017 release of Destiny 2. Now, the gameplay reveals the longer gameplay overview, and the Bungie's lengthy hour-long showcase were also released this past weekend. It's also been interesting to see the wider community react in presentations. Overall, it seems most gamers have mixed feelings about what they saw. Marathon's high production value, undeniably apparent, but many of them felt that it was a shown of lack of distinguishing features and mechanics and set to be apart for its peers. Overall, I can see where people are also coming from, where they also haven't seen Marathon so far overall. It says, I dig its glitchy, futuristic, almost punk-like aesthetic with ultra-realistic architecture and vibrant colors, and everything about the core gunplay and movement looks snappy and satisfying thanks to a punchy sound effects and beautiful detail animations. It says, granted, a few of these things are clearly borrowed from Destiny, but still, indeed, what Bungie showed makes the game look like a fun shooter, which is fine, right? Obviously, that's what you want. You want a fun game. I do think the stylistic of it, I do think the reason they're doing it is trying to stick themselves out from everybody else, right? So even if it hasn't helped it stand out as being a unique one, well, they haven't really shown to make it unique besides the art style and whatnot. It just feels like another shooter. It says, notably, though, content creators were quietly invited to playtest Marathon the past months and were also given the green light to share their thoughts over the weekend. And a feature I've heard about from a few of them, and the YouTuber Scaro9 in particular, has wondering why the developers didn't choose the spotlight in this reveal. He says, according to them, the game's marathon colonial ship map, along with others, are considerably lesser extent will have PvE puzzles and secret mechanics for players to figure out as they battle other squads. Okay, in essence, it sounds like Bungie is drawing inspirations from Destiny beloved raids and dungeons to add significant flair to the new PvP experience. Now, I wonder how this is going to. I'm going to try to make a comparison a little bit to Sea of Thieves, right? And follow me here, right? In Sea of Thieves, there's 6 teams, I think, or 5 teams, whatever. Which is, I believe, if you have a full crew, it's 24 people on the map. I think they have 18 on this map because it's teams of 3. Okay. Inside of Sea of Thieves, there's not raid-like things, but you could compare like a raid to the fort, the Skull Fort, or the Spanish fort that they have, or the pirate ships that they battle. And so while you're in this open space, okay, you could go do these little events, these dungeon-esque type of events to get the loot and stuff to bring back, and then other people can attack you while you're doing that event. So obviously Sea of Thieves has sort of, it's not really an extraction. I wouldn't call Sea of Thieves an extraction, but basically that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to get the loot and get it back to the home base, which would be an extraction point. But when you're doing this in Sea of Thieves, there's no time limit. There's no time limit to do those things. So you can constantly come back and do stuff. There's a 25-minute time limit inside of Marathon. So I wonder how in-depth puzzle thing that this is going to happen, right? So I don't know if it's going to be like a Vault of Glass where, let's say you jump on a map and there's like clues here and there. So maybe your first drop into that new map, obviously you don't know what it is, but you come across a clue and then someone else finds a clue and then all of a sudden you find out a door opens. Now that you've played it, sort of like Blueprints that we're playing, right? You constantly do the roguelike mechanic. So in this, it could be like a rogue-like mechanic where the first time you drop in, you're not going to know how to open the door. Then you figure it out. Then a couple matches in, you figure out how to open the door. Then the 6th time you go in, now you finally open the door real fast. Then you go inside the actual dungeon, and you start piecing together little by little how to get through the dungeon. But the problem is there's a time limit. There's a time limit of 25 minutes, and other people coming in and messing with you. Now, I wonder if the community as a whole, because of Destiny community, is if people will work together. Okay? Now, obviously, there's no proximity chat. Okay? So it'll be interesting to see if people work together to try to figure out these things and if it backfires in Bungie's face, because this is what happened in Fallout 76. I know I'm taking a bunch of different comparisons from different games, but that's what this sounds like to me. Like, if they're going to do dungeons and different things inside of this that they borrow from Destiny, it's going to be a little weird because you only have a certain amount of time to actually figure this stuff out. So are they going to be super complicated to try to figure out and you have to do it over time? Or is it going to be super simple to figure it out? They're just spread across the map to open up a door. That's what I would like to know. Okay, it says Marathon ship map, I think, is going to be very exciting. It says it's hesitant to call it a raid-like in terms of Destiny, but it's definitely like if you're trying to solve puzzles and secrets while you're in the midst of PvP. Explaining Scarrow in the recent video, grinding with a clarity excitement sort of things is going to be secret sauce for this game. All I want to do is go back and ship the ship and solve the secrets and fight the enemies. So basically, he just wants to play a PvE game. Do you see the problem here? Right? Now, obviously, you're in PvP, and there's that excitement, right? Like in Sea of Thieves. A lot of people don't like playing Sea of Thieves because they get nervous and whatnot. But when you're on a ship and you overlook and you see a ship in the distance, you get excited. That's the same thing with an extraction shooter. When you're on a team and all of a sudden you see someone moving, you're like, oh, there's someone over there. That's sort of like the ship in the distance, right? You're like, oh, they could come and attack us, or they could stay by themselves. That's the exciting part of an extraction, okay? It says, mechanics going in the middle of the tense tactical PvP engagement sounds wild at best, wild in the best way. And it's exactly the kind of thing that would also help Marathon catch the eye of first-person shooter players, as already having an abundance of titles to play, which, again, makes Bungie's decision to not talk about all this more intriguing. Okay, perhaps the developer wasn't ready to show these types of PvPvE engagements. Off but polished or not, I argue the attention should have been drawn to it. Marathon is a premium title. Okay, full price or not a full price one. It's likely to be around $40 and will have a battle pass. So that microtransaction shop is also willing to bet. It's also a tough sell in today's era where nearly every PvP game is free to play. And if Bungie wants people to fork over the cash and get over the entry barrier, it keeps impress them. It's an all Fate of Concord shut down permanently in October. It's a glaring example of what can happen otherwise. Showcasing array style mechanics are one way of the studio could also do just that. Like to see more Marathon Classic aliens have more presence too. And if months leading up to the game's September release date, I'm really hoping it does. So look, I think this could be interesting if they do this. But again, I think the difference between a raid mechanic, right? Let's be honest. Destiny has some really cool raid mechanics and dungeon mechanics. You had to figure out puzzles and stuff like that. I'm just trying to figure out putting that into a PvP VE moment where it's like locked in to a 25-minute timer, and you're always constantly trying to figure out the puzzle. And then you're also Fortnite's doing that a little bit now, right? It's not really a puzzle, but Fortnite has at least last season when I played with my son, there was these vaults that you would have to open up, and while you did the vaults, you would plant the bombs to open up the vault, which is not really a puzzle to figure out, but basically what's happening is you're trying to open that vault, NPCs start attacking you, and then obviously alarms are going off, which is letting other teams know that you're trying to get the vault, and they're going to come and get it, right? So a lot of these games, Sea of Thieves, Fortnite, other extractions, they're already doing these things, okay? So this is not groundbreaking in any shape, way, or form that Marathon's doing. They're just going to take these mechanics that people are doing in other games and make it their own spin on it, which I hope it is interesting and fun. But if people are starting to do more of this puzzle-solving stuff, how many of these things are on the map? And after the first week, are people going to figure it out? Is it going to be too complicated to not figure out right away? Or is it going to be, once you figure it out, it's going to be super easy, and then everyone's going to be doing it, and then no one's going to be fighting, and then no one's going to be extracting. They're all going to try to figure out these puzzles. I don't know. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think of this raid-esque type mechanic or dungeon-type mechanics inside the extraction shooter? Do you think this could be the thing that brings this extraction up to the next level? Or do you think this is the tornado type of effect inside of Battlefield 2042? Oh, we got tornadoes, and it's going to be like a overhyped thing, but really it's nothing. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, do that just so I can bookmark it. All right, let me go back up and see what you guys are saying here. Let's see. Did y'all see that they're also doing a prototype 3? Yeah, it's rumored. It's rumored. You know, we'll see when it. I want to run stories a little bit that when they actually like see stuff like the Oblivion thing is official now. Basic. Well, not official, but I mean, the remake of Oblivion's coming out. Krebsy says Marathon did have rather in-depth ARG reveal the date when the game event was. Crowd says, well, they are still balancing this stuff. PS5 says no prototype game. It's another one that you were thinking of. Well, it's Infamous and Prototype, right? Those are the ones that people like. Those are sort of similar games when they came out. Let's see here. Krabby says, another extraction shooter. It was a green card. Go to the blue room, open the green box, take a digit purple save, take the gold card to the vault door, and kill boss, and get good loot. Wolverine, what's going on, Wolverine? Says, a lot of red flags. What's the red flags for you? Maybe you say it a little bit farther down. Let me see. Let's see. Water Bear says, you said vault, PTSD for Avengers. Yeah. Remember those damn buttons and switches you had to press and access the final vault door? Yeah, but imagine doing that with a timer and also now with people coming after you. Wolverine, let's just say these puzzles are going to be a hot spot for ganks. Right. Which then this is exactly what happened. And again, I'll make the comparison to Sea of Thieves. In the beginning, people wanted to go to the islands to get the skull forts in the very early stages, right? And then what happened was people came and started attacking the people that were doing it. And all they wanted to do was get the loot. And then what happened was you had two different aspects happening. You had people that came over to help, and then they split the loot, right? Then you had other people that were fighting over and over and over, and then no one would get it. And something that should have taken 15 minutes now took 45 minutes because they died, they come back, they die, they come back, they die, they come back, and they keep going back and forth. And it wasn't fun. right? So then what happened was people stopped going to the forts completely. So then Sea of Thieves had to like rethink this, right? They're like, well, let's do more things inside the world. Let's add the pirate ships. Let's add the other fort. Let's add the thing, right? Because what was happening is people's time, respective time, they didn't feel like their time was being respected. So they stopped going to the forts. They stopped engaging with certain things of the game, and they're like, "Nah, I'm not going to do that." So then they had to make the competitive thing, where it's just people that wanted PvP, and then that was there for a bit, and they took that out, and now it seems like it's in a nice little balance because there's a lot of things to do, right? So if someone's going for the fort, someone's going for the ships, someone's going for the other fort. There's a lot of things that are going on in the world now. Krebs says can't be overhyped if they aren't talking about it. Eclipse says, nah. It would last for at least a year. It's Bungie. They have a really hardcore fans. Yeah, I said at least a year. 1 year. I said that, 2 days ago? Last week? Actually, it was on Monday. It was Monday when I said it. Just on Bungie alone. I don't see this falling off like Concord. It'll come. I mean, hell, if it lasts 14 days, it's longer than Concord. Wolverine says, red flags for me stem for character design and loot reset every 3 months, just to name two. I agree. I said that on Monday. I think the loot reset is 100% dumb. People didn't like the resets when they did it in Destiny, right? Now you're asking people to go for certain loot, and then they get that loot, and they're going to hoard that loot because these are Destiny players. They're gonna hoard that loot. And then once they hoard that loot, they're never either going to use it, and then once the season's over, they're going to lose it. And they're going to be like, well, why did I go for it? Travis says, 30, if you still support Bungie in this day and age, stop it, get help. You can overcome video game spousal views. Well, I always call Destiny my stripper ex-girlfriend. That started with me. Wait, loot resets every 3 months? That's retarded. Yeah, Krebsy, we talked about that on Monday. That was one of the big things, that all the loot resets. Roadkill says, yeah, I don't understand how they don't understand people don't like losing their shit they spent time getting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Wolverine says, that's Diablo's 3 and 4's biggest flaw. I agree. Crowded House says, Mike, did you see during the presentation when they showed the evolution of the art style? I did not. They should have stopped it in the middle. No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. Kylo says, Tarkov players are different, but they still an extraction shooter, and players over there love the reset day. They also get so powerful. They want to reset the grind again. I totally get that, Kylo. But that is a brand new game in a new genre, and those people came over and were like, oh, I'm digging this. Bungie, which is known for sci-fi games, Marathon, Halo, Destiny 2, okay? And now they're coming out with Marathon and doing this extraction shooter. They've built up for the last, 20 years, story and looter, right? Let's just take Halo and Destiny. They built, actually, even Marathon, the old Marathon, the 3 Marathons they made, that was about story. Halo was about story. Destiny was about story and loot. And now you're asking this fan base to come in to your game that they like Bungie for story, and they like Bungie now for loot. And now you're asking them to play this game that shits on the loot, and there is no story. Roadkill says, whatever happened to Path of Exile 2? I mean, it was like a giant thing for a week, and now nothing. It's still in early access, Roadkill. And I don't know, maybe you're just not in the right circles. Path of Exile 2 is still huge. Still huge. I mean, I don't know if you would call this small, and no one's talking about it. It just means that you're not paying attention to it. That's all. I mean that's pretty solid, right? Here's where it came out. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not even when it came out. This is when it came out. It dropped off right down to here, and then boom. Here's the fixes they did, and now it's going down again. It's still in early access. It's not out yet. And remember, it's a free-to-play game when it comes out. Crowded House says Tarkov resets too. I get it. But how many people do you think that are playing Tarkov are going to come over? What percentage of the population of Tarkov are going to come over and stay on Marathon? They already have time invested in all the updates, all the things that Hunt Showdown has done, Tarkov has done over the years, right? They've invested their time into that game. They've helped craft that game. Yeah, they just added a new class. Do you think they slap an early access tag on it? Oh, when it comes out? Maybe? I don't know. I think a live service is the same as early access, so it doesn't really matter. What about the people not paying attention? Because I like hamburgers. When I have one for lunch, there's no more interesting than any extraction shooter. I don't even know that. I missed that joke. Salty says if you can cheat, then you also can come over to Marathon. That would be interesting. We don't even know what the cheating system's like. They couldn't stop the cheating in Destiny before. They just sued a bunch of people that were doing cheats. But we'll see what happens when it comes out. Should be interesting. Roic says Path of Exile 2 numbers should drop even more tomorrow. Wolverine says, why didn't Diablo 3 and subsequently Diablo 4 live up to what Diablo 2 did, seasonal resets? There are people who spent decades looking for one item. I understand Tarkov and Diablo players enjoy that. That's such a small percentage, though, right, Wolverine? Reset would also be good, would go way better if people could keep their stuff past an internal server. I think they should do some... Look, here's the thing. I think it's kind of... The fundamental problem with an extraction shooter is, like Wolverine, if you're really good at the game, and you're a much better PvP player than I am, right? You play a lot of trials and whatnot. Let's say you get... I don't know. Let's just say Fatebringer, right? Fatebringer's in Marathon, okay? You get Fatebringer, you're using Fatebringer, and you're such a much better player, you're never going to lose the Fatebringer. You bring that Fatebringer in with you in your extraction because it's a powerful gun, you're a better player than I am, and you're going to wreck people with it, okay? I'm never, as a lower-tier player, they said there's going to be some sort of adjustment where they stop people from throwing in for new players, but let's just say it's a couple months go down the line, you're in the middle of the season, you have the best weapon, you're a better skilled player than me, and I'm going against you. You're going to murder me. I'm never going to get that gun from you, okay? You're going to keep becoming better and better. You're going to find better gear as you go because you have an advantage because your skill and the gun, okay? Now the end of the season comes. Now you have that gun, and now it's taken away from you, okay? Which doesn't sound bad because you've used that gun for a really long time and no one took it from you. So you're like, sweet, I want to start again. Now let's go to the other side, okay? I'm not good. Right? I'm not good. I come in. I'm just a casual player. I want to play the game because I'm interested in an extraction shooter. Not me personally. I'm just giving an example. Okay? I play the game day after day after day. I get the gun, but I get killed. I lose the gun. Right? I finally get the gun. Okay? Now I'm keeping the gun. I keep the gun. I lose the gun. Right? And I'm like, oh, I lose that gun. I get it again. I'm like, you know what? I want to keep this gun. I'm only going to use it with a certain amount of team members, and I feel like we're better. I'm going to put it in my vault. You put it in your vault. And all of a sudden, you stop playing for a couple weeks. You come back, season's over. You come back, you'll go to your vault, gone, and you're like, where'd my gun go? Right? That's gonna be a what the fuck moment for a lot of people, because it takes a really long time for certain people to get a gun, where other people are gonna get it super simple, right? Waterbear says if it fit a minute, but much LE is also a different game. Let's see. Eclipse says, I guarantee you very low because reason why people play Tarkov is because of the strategy in the game. Marathon does not look like it has strategy. It looks like it's Apex Legends. Crowd says, part of Destiny I hate the most is the vault management. I'm not someone who was against sunsetting guns in Destiny. I'm all for it. Or you are. I'm not someone who was against this. So you're okay with the sunsetting. See, my problem with the sunsetting is if you're a person that has the guns, I want to keep them. How does me keeping the guns affect you that doesn't want to keep the guns? If you wanted sunsetting, cool, but I should have an option to keep the guns if I want to keep the guns, right? Especially in a game like that. Travis says, fundamental problem is respecting my time. Robert Jones says, my boy Wolf only uses 2 guns in the whole Destiny. Well, then he wouldn't care, right? He wouldn't care about the sunsetting of the stuff. But he found that gun, and he uses that gun. But now in this game, if he gets killed and loses his gun, now he's trying to go back for that gun. But if he wants to keep it, he's still going to lose the gun. Salty says, there's plenty of Russian players in Hunt Showdown on PC that don't underestimate Russians and Power Fantasy. My time has been wasted. I'm good. Wolverine says, I want to come to the conclusion myself to not use a weapon, not to arbitrarily season-driven by money to make my switch my... Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I just want the option, right? I want to make the choice of sort of like in Borderlands, right? In Borderlands, I'm using a gun that's super overpowered. Once it hits to a certain level, it's not doing as much damage. Sure, I can get rid of it. But if I want to keep that gun, I can keep that gun just for sentimental values or whatever, right? But if I want to move on to the next gun, I want that to be my choice, not told that I have to get rid of the gun. That's exactly how I've always felt in Destiny. Because me keeping a gun doesn't affect you, especially in a PvE game at the time. Okay? Now it's a PvP VE game. Krabsy says, I don't know. Don't know if Marathon has this, but if put insurance on the gun or put it on your butt, aka a pocket they don't have a pocket. They said they don't have a pocket. You can't store a weapon to save it. They already said that. They might change it, but there is no pocket, they said. You don't grind weapons in Marathon, you're grinding attachments and items. Dark Taco says, you did keep the guns, or you just you couldn't bring them into the harder or content because of power gating. Roadkill says, do you think they're going to change anything about the game since it's so much negative reactions? No, I don't think they are. I mean, there were so many negative reactions in Destiny for the longest time. It took them years and years and years. I mean, hell, they would be glad if it took years to get if Marathon stood around for years. Crowded House said, not sunsetting is why Destiny 2 is so insanely power creep right now. But I don't want to say that's a pretty simplistic statement of why it's like that. It would be exactly, you would have other problems, right? And I'm not even going to go into Destiny, right? Destiny's fundamental problem with Destiny is Destiny itself. They don't even know what to do. They brought in certain things and didn't know how to do certain things. The power creep happened only because of PvP and PvE. They could have easily changed the difficulty of stuff, but instead they had to nerf guns and buff guns and because of PvP. Sarge says that's the game design issue. If there's events or enemies in a game that needs a specific type of gun, people would switch. If I don't need to switch, then why would I? That's exactly right. Robert Jones says, Roadkill has also probably change it so you can also remove the attachments from the guns. Currently, you can't. Yeah, once you put an attachment on a gun, a mod on the gun, that's it. It's locked in. Power creep is almost inevitable in games like this. They also have a system in the game where you can will allow you to purchase faction packs from playing the game and earning XP in the currency from completing contracts and leveling your factions. Sure, but there's still fundamental things. There's no pocket that you can store something in. There's no once you put a mod on the actual gun, that's it. It's stuck on that gun. I even talked about this the other day. I said that could be actually you could screw someone over, right? So you have a gun that you're not going to use. So you put some really shitty mod on it. So when you lose it, it doesn't really fucking matter. It's just like a garbage gun that no one can use. You kill that gun because you put a shitty mod on it. Like you have your favorite gun, but then you're going to put a mod on a gun that you're not going to use, and you don't care about it. So you're just going to put a shitty mod, a mod that you find. You're like, I'm not going to use this mod. I'm not going to use this gun. I'm going to put this mod on this gun. I'm just going to make a stupid attachment to this gun, which basically nil and voids that gun. So I'll pick it up and be like, why do I have this? This is stupid. Who put this mod on this gun? We got to see more about Marathon, but the raid mechanic seems interesting. Again, I think it's going to be, again, I'm doing one of my, right? It's going to be where you don't figure it out in one match. There's going to be bits and pieces and clues, and it's going to take 5 matches or 6 matches, which is still fast, right? Because what is that, 3 hours, 4 hours? If it's 25 minutes, it goes the distance. You'll find certain things, and plus it might even go faster because the internet is the internet, okay? But you're going to be able to do it, figure it out. Once you figure it out, everyone's going to do it, and then people will be bored of it. They're like, cool. And then everyone's going to go there because that'll be where the best weapons are. That's where the best mods are. Why not sell the mods? Well, there's difference. It's a high risk, high reward, right? Titan, you could lose all the stuff, can't you? If I'm in the extraction shooter and I don't extract and I lose all my stuff, you could sell it. But if you're dead, you can't sell anything, right? It's an all or none. Is it not? If you don't extract, you get nothing, correct? Roken says, how long have they been working on this game for? It seems like they also cut a lot of corners. Why can't you also put an attachment on another gun? That's so stupid. That's a game mechanic they want, right? They want the game mechanic of where it's tough decisions. If I take this mod and put it on this gun, that's it. That's where it stays. I mean, Mike, you can do that, but you also be handicapping yourself. You're saying that because you're thinking of other extraction shooters. This is a different type of extraction shooter, according to Marathon, according to Bungie. So it sounds like the entire game will basically be like the Dark Zone from the Division. Yeah, basically. You're not wrong, Crowded. If things are eternally viable when the devs need to constantly one-up weapons to entice the user to use the new guns and diminishing returns of making new guns, Bungie has a good track record of sticking with the game during hard times. But with Sony now, it's also in the mix. Would that change? Perhaps. It could. The best solution, also if you find another extraction, is that the item will never lose. I think the Arc Raiders did it. And if there is one item in the backpack, that it never gets lost. See, now, that to me is smart, right? Because if you're a person, you're respecting at least the time, you'll lose everything else. But if you have that one thing that you want to keep, then that's better. They chose not to do that in Marathon right now. There is no backpack spot that you lose everything, right? Or take everything. Wrong. You don't have to extract contracts, for example. Bungie has specifically stated that when you sit down to play this game, you'll make the progress even with you lose for 2 hours. So the battle pass, basically, it's not. I'm not saying it's a battle pass. What I'm saying is the faction pass. It's a faction pass that you have to take, and then you work your way towards that. It'll be interesting to see how good or whatnot that is in the game. Because if the factions are where the better gear comes from, then why am I going into the regular, you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So I guess what I'm trying to say, let me see if I can clarify it, okay, as I'm thinking, because I haven't played the game. So I take, I don't know, what's a faction? 30 and Still Gaming faction, right? The 30 and Still Gaming faction gives me a quest. It says you need to take out this specific boss on the map. So I drop into the extraction. Okay, now I'm with a group of people. They're a completely different faction than me. Okay? I can ask the people randomly on my team, hey, guys, I need this over here, okay? And they can help me. Or they can say, fuck you, I got my own missions, and they can go on their own. So now I'm soloing it, okay? And I have to go kill this thing, right? While I go kill this thing, I'm going to go kill this boss. I get killed by the person. Now, I haven't completed the faction quest yet, so I'm dead, okay? Didn't complete it, okay? So now I go back. I drop back in. Now I'm with 2 other random guys. They decide to help me. I go complete the actual thing, killed the boss. I don't have to extract. I completed the contract. Regardless if I extract or not, I complete the contract. I complete that contract. Great. Now I complete the contract. What is that? If that's better, if the contract from the factions is better than the actual gear I'm getting in the game to extract to get, then I would never have to extract. What I would do is constantly just do missions and wouldn't care if I die. Right? That seems a little weird to me from an extraction game. But maybe that's the sauce that they're trying to go for to make it more casual. Robert Jones says, not defending their decision, but you have to consider the console when it comes to looting. You can do this stuff way easier on mouse and keyboard. Looting needs to be simple for controls. I heard somebody from podcast talk about it. He said it was actually pretty simple for on controller. He was playing on controller when he did the playtest. Roadkill says, I'm not looking for a tough decision. I'm looking for a fun gunplay and video game like that. Wolverine says, if it's like the Dark Zone, I'm all about it, but that's not going to flow. 2/3 of Destiny communities, some folks will avoid the Crucible like the plague. Right. Because what happens is, right, no, the best gear will come from endgame maps. Right, so you have to extract. But you see what I'm saying, though, House, is that if people start to figure out that their time's not, and the best, people are going to go water. Water's going to find the best path. Gamers are going to find what's the easiest path to get gear. If the easiest path to get gear to feel like you're completing stuff is not extracting, just dropping in the map, completing a mission for your factions, you don't care about actually extracting, then people are just going to jump in, do the mission, die, and then rinse and repeat so they get their factions up. Because whatever the factions are giving you, I don't know what they're giving you. I have no idea. Okay? But that's what would happen, because that's the less resistance to actually happening. Why do I have to put in 25 minutes if I can just drop in, go to the point, do the mission, and then just bail out? Die, kill, whatever. I don't care about my loot. Because the factions are going to be able to give me a starter kit or whatever it is. So as you're going up in factions, you get to have a better starter kit than you would if you just had no factions. Rokiel says, UCL quick and shut down Concord if Marathon ain't popping off. I don't think they will. Into it, and also going into fire them dudes and say that they get fucked up. I think that Marathon will be around for at least a year. I do. If anything, even if it fails, they will do a hard pivot to make it last. They're not closing studios down. They paid way too much for Bungie. They are not closing this game down. They will try as much as possible to keep it open. The goal is to get to Marathon ship. It's the best endgame loot. Sure, but what percentage of that? What percentage of people are going to get there? What percentage of players, when they played Destiny, got to the raids? What percentage of people, when they play a game, get to the end game? You're talking of a niche community. I played another extraction game where you make the most progress from extracting, but you can also make progress doing other stuff. Correct. Again, Jones, the least path of resistance would be just doing the missions for factions, doing the missions, going up at least feeling like you're doing something. Sea of Thieves, again, not an extraction, but Sea of Thieves shit on your time before. Not until they added the battle pass, the free battle pass spots where you're strolling on the, because you would go get the loot, you would go get the treasure, and then you would lose it all because someone would kill you. And people are like, you're fucking my time. I don't want to play this game. And they're like, well, we're losing player base. What do we do? What about if you had a battle pass? And they added a faction, right, where you can go up on your battle pass. So if you go 100 yards, you get a piece of gold, right? If you undig a treasure chest, you get gold. And it goes directly into your gold, right? It's not, you don't have to extract anything. You don't have to get it back to base. They're just giving you the gold. They're just giving you things. It's exactly what this is. It's exactly what this contract for factions is for the game. You need at least a purple loot to go into the end game. is what I've heard. I doubt factions are going to let you purchase purple gear. If you do, it will also probably require a lot of work. You're still missing the point, though, House. The majority of people that play this type of game are going to be people that don't make it to the end game. Right? You're talking about the people that want to get to the end game. There's just people that want to play and just have fun and play the game. Okay? And I totally get that. I'm talking about the casual players that they're trying to market towards this extraction shooter for. Sarge says 100% hard pivot incoming, bro. Just like they did with Destiny. Who knows? Sometimes you only need one good run in these games, and you never know. The idea is that these one good run can make up 100 losses. Sure, you could say the same thing. All we need, a shitty game just needs one good patch to make it a good game. But you got to wait for that one good patch. You got to be able to have that one good game out of 100 matches, 100 losses. You got to make the experience feel good for me so I can stay in the game that long to get that one win. Roadkill says, let's make a bet on how long Marathon will survive. I bet 1 day, 1 player count. And let's bet on the day 1 player count. Day 1 player count. That's hard to. I gotta see a price. We know it's a price. We gotta see the price. The point is that the game is not Tarkov, and I don't want it to be. So I don't know. We gotta just wait and see. I totally get that. They don't want it to be Tarkov either. They want it to be a Elden Ring of the Dark Souls. They want to be more appealing to a broader audience. Well, how do you do that? Travis says 30. The real question is about the same standards. Isn't all it takes is one bad run for a person to say, fuck this, I'm going to play a real game? That's exactly right, Travis. As silly as that sounds, it's exactly right. All it takes is one really bad run for someone to go, fuck this, I'm done. It's exactly right. But that's exactly what Travis just said, right? I mean, if I play the game and it sucks, it's just say it sucks, right? But that's just it. If someone gets one bad run, that's what happens with Sea of Thieves. Again, Sea of Thieves is not a extraction, but it's got elements of you have to get the shit over to here. Okay, all it takes is, oh man, this is so much fun. This is so much fun. I'm sailing a boat. I'm going around. Oh, I'm gonna get to explore the island. All of a sudden, someone's like, "Hey, look, newbies over there," and they destroy you after 2 hours of your hard-earned time getting gold and treasure to get back to the thing. You lose everything, right? And you're like, "Fuck it, I'm done. I thought I liked this game. I don't like it. It just shit on my time completely." PlayStation 5 blows says you guys have to buy it to try it. Titan says you need to play 100 rounds until it gets good, right? It gets good after like 100 rounds, right? 25 minutes apiece. You only got to put about 250 hours into the game before it gets good. Like BR, you're losing majority of the time, but people still play. Well, this goes into a completely different story, Jones. Okay? Because in a BR, let's take Fortnite, for example. Fortnite used to have 100 people. 100 people that played the game, and then it was just that. It was just the save the world, and it was just Battle Royale, right? Build a hotel. And millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people played the game, okay? But then something happened. Something happened. Player numbers started dipping, right? There's 1,000 different game modes in there. 1,000 different game modes. There's Lego. There's the Rocket League. There's the band thing. There's people played maps. There's ballistics. There's whatever the roundup, whatever the fuck it's called. Okay, there's so many different game modes now, and when you go into a game, you don't know. I mean, you know if you know, but you don't know if you're actually playing against people or bots, right? And let me tell you something. I barely play the game, okay, and I'm always in the top 3. Okay, I'm always in the top 3 because there's more people that are bots playing against bots than people that are not playing against bots. Okay, and there's so many things to do in the actual thing itself. That's what it is. Battle Royale, as Fortnite is, okay, is a phenomenon, is the outlier, not the norm, because of the market that it's in and the people that play the game. House says, this is how I got hooked on a Dark Souls. I played and got stepped on, but I couldn't stop thinking about it and had to go back. That's all I'm saying. Right, and all I'm saying is that's a niche community. So now you're thinking of the niche of a niche. You're thinking of the people that want to play that game and then want to get good, which is the small percentage. Ray says the Helldivers is good since the first game. Kyle says casuals are going to buy it for seeing Bungie on the case. Going to play one game, go back and see that they're also starting starting gun, and they just uninstall it. Krebsy says, remember Bungie could have been fixing Destiny 2 or making Destiny 3 or hell, made Destiny Extraction shooter, but they made Marathon instead. That's right. Robert Jones says it's 70% bots. Yeah. Why? Why is it 70% bots? Because you have a better percentage of pretending you're really good and you win or you get close to winning and it keeps you going. Oh, man, I was so close. I was so close. Let me do it again. What's going on, Dark Taco? Mo says, I'll try Marathon when it comes to Game Pass. Let's see. You play against bots when it's been a while. You won't play for a while. You play against bots regardless. My son plays every day. He gets into bot lobbies. Every day he plays. He knows instantaneously. He's starting to catch on now. Sarge says, or hey, they could have just supported the PvP in Destiny, but they didn't. That's right. Souls is not a niche. It is, House. All right. The Souls genre is no longer it's a bigger niche, okay? But Souls games are a niche. There's hundreds of million people playing video games. There's 7 million people, 5 million people playing that. Nate says, but you bought it, so it didn't really matter if you uninstall it. I did it with a Dragon Dogma 2 because everyone said it was a great, and I hated it, and I couldn't get my refund. This is why you should. I'm not saying you specifically, Nate, but just in general, this is why people should look at reviews, look at gameplay, and now with things like YouTube and Twitch and people playing games, you can get enough information before you spend the money where you can't get your money back. Altern says, most recent example is Once Human. When the season resetted, I was unable to get my character in the new server because all servers were full. I uninstalled the game. Well, at least it was free to play, unless you paid for it, right? It was free to play. How many Soul games came out in the last year? Okay, how many Souls games do you own, House? How many Souls games do you own? How many different types of Souls games did you buy? You're a Souls guy, so I would say you have at least 5 or 6, right? And the reason you have multiple Souls games is because they're single player. And once you beat it, you move on to the next one. Because you are a gamer and you're trying to feed your appetite for that. You're like, oh, man, I really like this one. I want to go to the next one, right? That's exactly the niche community is. The people that like Souls games keep buying Souls games. There's a lot more people that don't like to bash their head against the wall playing against one boss. Just look at Elden Ring compared to FromSoft games, all FromSoft games. Look at the sales for Elden Ring compared to all the other Dark Souls games. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Is it because all of a sudden people like Souls-like games? No, it's because they made it appealing, okay? And they let a whole bunch of people come in and go, oh, this is a Souls-esque light where if I can't do it, I can ask for help and people can help me. Yeah, that's right. It's easier. That's right. Elden Ring busted out of the niche community. See, you don't want to believe it's niche because you like the niche. You don't want to believe it's a niche because you are the niche, which is not a bad thing. Roic says, isn't every genre a niche technically? No. Sports is not a niche. Sporting is not a niche. Sports is a phenomenon. If you're going for you could be very generic and say, sure, every game's a niche because there's only a certain amount of people, but it's the smallest group possible, right? So a lot of people don't play. What's another genre that a lot of people don't play that people think? We just had one. Well, Extraction. Extraction is a niche community. Souls games are a niche community. Are Souls games much bigger than they were 10 years ago? Absolutely. But it's still a small portion of the community, right? Everyone thinks that the niche that they're in is this like massive selling thing. No, it's massive for that niche, right? And if you make a Souls game and you sell 2 million copies and your budget's low enough, then you're very successful. If you sell 3 million, 4 million copies, it's very successful. Yeah, puzzle games. Survival's huge. Survival's huge, but you can take the genre of survival's huge, but certain survival games are a niche. Same with simulators. Simulators are a huge market, but simulator games, individual games, like American Truck Simulator or, I don't know, car mechanic simulator, that's a niche. I think there's more Souls games. Oh, yeah. Well, a shit ton of Souls games came out. Why? It's because people like it, and it's starting to broaden out. Right now, there's PvP. PvP games are not a niche. They're gigantic. There's like 50% of the fucking population. It's like 40% of all games are PvP. But certain PvP games, like an Extraction, okay, is a niche community. But games like Call of Duty, the big battles, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Hell Let Loose, right? Those type of big battle games are not a niche. But within that genre, Hell Let Loose is a niche compared to, Call of Duty or Battlefield. Let's see. Titan says it's because Elden Ring is popular and good. Well, Elden Ring is right for the regular populace. The regular populace is, I think, the word I'm looking for. The casual gamer, the gamer that's like, oh, I've never played. What is this? I hear Elden Ring is. And they're like, oh man, this is really hard. Oh, I can ask a friend to come in. Makes it more enjoyable. Right, Ray. Elden Ring is the outlier, as I said yesterday. Elden Ring is the outlier. Grand Theft Auto is the outlier. It's not everything, right? Fortnite is the outlier. You can't use when we talk about search engines, right? You're like, well, Google's doing it. Yeah, Google is the outlier. All the other search engines are like here. Google's all the way up here. Everyone loves to use the outlier, like Call of Duty, the thing that sells 40 million, right? Perfect example. Nintendo's Mario Kart, right? Mario Kart Deluxe 8 sold 65 million, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, kart races are huge. Huge. Look at Mario Kart." No, slow down. Why don't you look at all the other kart racers that are in the industry? Is kart racing a huge industry? No. No, it's not. They come out and die just as fast as they came out. Are there people being successful? 100%. But saying, well, look, kart racing's awesome. Look at Mario Kart. No. That's the outlier. Look at another one Nintendo does well, right? Smash Brothers, the battle arenas type of stuff, right? You're like, oh, those are huge. What happened to Multiverse? What happened to Nickelodeon's Brawler or whatever? Is there a market for those things? Sure. You can't say, oh, they're huge. Look at that one. Yeah, that is the one. All the other ones died because they can't pull in the crowd. Eclipse says, pretty sure that Elden Ring sold more than everything. Yeah, it actually did. Yeah. We actually looked it up a couple of, here, I'll bring it up. Elden Ring has now sold 28.6 million copies, outselling Dark Souls series combined. Elden Ring went to sell 13 million copies by the end of March 2022, almost doubling by March of 2023 with 20 million copies. And Bandai Namco's fastest selling game of all time, smashing records for FromSoft. Elden Ring officially FromSoft most popular game. It outsold developers' entire Dark Souls series by 2 million copies by itself. Let's say gamers niche about the franchise don't have to be. Let's say genres are niche, but the franchises don't have to be. But that's what I said, Jason, from the beginning. I said Marathon's trying to go for the Elden Ring type of stuff. They're trying not to be a niche. They're trying to go for the casual. They're trying to broaden the base for extractions. Let's see here. I have to see more about Crimson Desert. I got to see more about Crimson Desert. Lucas says, I'm a little confused about applying a niche to a whole genre when game in it can be mainstream. If you're looking at a Dark Souls-like games, Lucas, that industry, that niche is a niche. But Elden Ring, within that niche now, is a popular, which makes it seem like Souls games are more popular than they are. But Souls games are a niche. You're not getting a broad audience to buy the Souls-like games. You're getting Souls-like gamers to keep buying Souls-like games. There's massive overlap. So the person that liked Dark Souls is going to get 1, 2, 3. They're going to get Sekiro. They're going to get the other games like that because that's what they like. It's a very niche community. The word niche is not a bad term, by the way. Okay? Not a bad term. Everyone thinks that because I'm saying a niche, it's like, oh, how dare you call it a niche? Like, a niche is just a smaller portion of the populace. That's it. Just the stat of Elden Ring outselling all of the Dark Souls series by itself shows you that means each Dark Souls game is selling 3 to 4 million copies. Ray says Warhammer 40K is a niche, and yet the consumer anything with 40K on it. Perfect example, right? Perfect example. People that like 40K keep buying 40K stuff. You keep going back to it. You keep going back to that market of the people that like 40K. Hey, they like that one. Let's sell them another 40K thing. Oh, you like that one? Here, let me see. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find. Let's see here. See, this goes into, but they don't tell you the actual. Let me see. That's gamer. That's by age. They go broad types of genres, right? They don't even have sports. Where's sports? I don't know if I can trust this. They don't even have a sports genre in here. All right, here we'll show this just to give you somewhat of a okay. This is just from what the is showing you okay, casual gamers, right? Share of responses. Okay, here's how these figures translate to gamers for global scale. Okay, 1.95 billion gamers are casual gamers. Now, we don't know what's in that casual, but that's gamers itself. Action games, 39% of the market, which is 1.21 billion people. Okay, shooting games, first-person shooter games or whatnot, is 1.21 billion. Okay, racing games, 37% is 1.14 billion. Family games is 1 billion, and adventure games is 0.96 billion. Right? Elden Ring's in this action / casual. More people bought it. That's why it sold 25 million. Right? That's the outlier of the stuff. Right? It's hard to see. They don't even have sports here. I'm assuming they put sports into racing. I have no idea. Let me see if they go into farther. Most popular video game genre worldwide by age group as a third quarter in 2024, shooter and action adventure games were the most popular video games genres across the globe. Shooter games ranked as the most played gaming genre for ages groups 16 to 54. It's remastered. They don't go into in depth. Yeah, I can't find like for the genres. It's like generic numbers. They can just lump it into another one. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Star Citizen is a niche. They also stole nearly 800 million. It's still an alpha. 13 years, still an alpha. Lucas says, so I better apply it to IPs, for example. Pokemon is a turn-based RPG. It's mainstream and a niche at the same time. Correct. The Pokemon is a niche community, but the broader IP, or yeah, the game is a niche, but the IP is massive. What's going on, Sin? Krebsy says, I personally ignore people who use the word niche because they had too many people say Marvel is a niche and it's the biggest fucking IP on the planet. Well, the IP is not a niche, right? The IP is not a niche. Marvel's Midnight Suns is a niche within the thing, right? Because people don't like that genre. It's a small genre. Travis says, 30, you know what's a super niche? 30 channel. That's right. You guys are in a niche. You guys are a niche community. Yeah, we're a small community. You're in a niche. Salty says, it depends on the genre in all cases, regardless of the IP. Correct. Context matters. You can't say Marvel's is a niche, but you can take a game from Marvel's and say it was a niche. All right, speaking of Marvel's, good segue. Great segue. It's like Krebsy knows. He doesn't know, but it's like he knows. Okay. Last night we played some Marvel Rivals, and we were starting to speculate at the end of it, right? Me and Argus were talking back and forth. We're saying, can you imagine bringing this character in, and this happened to come across my feed, and it was from April 12th because the new season started. As I'm dying here. It says all leaked upcoming heroes in Marvel Rivals Season 2. More leaked heroes have started popping up on Marvel Rivals, though there's still plenty of questions, and their validity. Jesus Christ. Let me start again. All leaked upcoming heroes in Marvel Rivals Season 2. The more leaked heroes have started popping up in Marvel Rivals, though there's also still plenty of questions about the validity of and the new characters that might be releasing. Okay, Marvel Rivals is about to release more heroes more often, which means there will also be more attention paid to what new characters could be coming to the game. Due to some new leaks, it now looks like there are more definitive list of upcoming heroes as well. Season 2 Hellfire Gala is now live, adding Emma Frost to Marvel Rivals and prepping players to arrive on the Ultron in the near future. Previous leaks gave us a community a deep look into what also might be planned for the future updates. However, many of those names might be as much further down the road than expected. Okay, so Marvel Rivals, all leaked heroes for Season 2 and beyond. So basically this is, let me take Salty off the thing. This is basically the data mine where people found like little hints of characters inside the game for Marvel Rivals. Okay, it says prior to release of Season 2, which includes Emma Frost and Ultron, it says new heroes for 20 other heroes leaked, potentially be included in the Marvel Rivals. 20 characters. If you're doing 12 a year, there's 20 other characters. We're talking year 2 and 3 now, okay, and beyond. Okay, so it says these, well, actually, no. It would be years 2 and 3 because there's 6 more, which would make 14, all right, about a year and a half, right? About a year and a half. These original leaks came from a beta builds in Season 0 and Season 1 files, leaving us rather large list of heroes mentioned in sections of the game, tied to upcoming heroes, whether it simply comes in text, role, or some sort of stored data for abilities. All 20 heroes had something that made them appear like more than just a placeholder text or files. While none of the information about these leaked heroes has been confirmed, Emma and Ultron being released in Season 2 at least proves that some of these files are accurate, especially if they have extra details. However, it looks like some of the additional changes have been discovered regarding the larger list of unreleased heroes, shrinking the waiting room significantly. Okay. Of the 20 previously leaked up through Marvel Rivals Season 1, it appears only 3 remain paired with one hero that's also discovered on the back end recently as unknown hero with very little information at this time. According to XOXO leaks, Ultron, Blade, and Phoenix, Professor X, and Daredevil are the only named heroes remaining on the unreleased game files of Season 2's launch, and other spot remains unknown, with unidentifiable traits to link to the hero to the name. We already know that Ultron will be releasing in May alongside Season 2.5, but remains 4 characters are still a mystery in varying degrees. Everyone thought that Blade was going to be added in Season 2 after the focal point of the vampiric Season 1 story. Though the Lost Man remained missing in action despite him not being playable at the moment, he was freed from the shackles in Central Park and Empire Eternal Night and can now be found napping in one of the Empire Wakanda maps, right? He's healing, right? So they're telling a story through visuals. Professor X is technically being teased quite heavily in the current Hellfire Gala storyline, as Cerebro is also present with the featured as part of the ongoing Marvel Rivals event. There's also now signs that Xavier will also be added to the roster, not just yet though. Phoenix is in the same boat as Professor X, though she has not been directly tied to any ongoing themes just yet, despite having some interactive voice lines and files for the other characters. The final named character is Daredevil, who was also only been recently leaked as a name for its passive ability and is also found in hero files. No additional information has been shared about this for 4 heroes, and we already know none of them will be released before Season 2 and set to end on July 11th. So what heroes might come to Marvel Rivals? Okay, Ultron is going to be released when Marvel Rivals Season 2.5 launches in May, but outside of the NetEase has not shared information on the other heroes will also join the roster next. With 4 named heroes listed in the latest leak, is also general idea that 2 of these 4 might appear in Season 3, which also starts in July. However, there is never actually guaranteed of one specific hero will also be released during the season, even if they are found in the game data. All right, so let's just jump down here. All right, you can see some of these names. Let's make these names nice and big for you guys so you can see. Okay, we know Blade's in the game. We see his character model. He's actually in the game. Professor X, he's in the game, but as a statue, and also you see Cerebro. Phoenix is not in the game. Daredevil's in the file. So these 4 are in the files. All of these characters, excuse me, chat. All of these heroes have been somewhat data mined in some way, shape, or form. A lot of these guys are hiding now. But last night we started bouncing back and forth, right? Last night we started bouncing back and forth what characters they could bring in. And a lot of these characters that you see here, there's already abilities and stuff already in the game. We were talking last night at the end of the stream for the last 45 minutes or so. Me and Argus were bouncing back and forth about who they could bring in, right? Like if they bring in a Captain Marvel, obviously it could be like a Storm character flying, obviously, but also have the powers of like a Shang-Chi type of power of punching power and whatnot, right? If you bring in MODOK, right, he's like a floating character. He could also be like a Human Torch or whatnot. Same with Valkyrie. Valkyrie may be a little faster moving as she flies. Maybe she just flies for a quick, sort of like what Human Torch does when he dives down at you. He could possibly do that. Cyclops with his beam, right? You already have Iron Man's beam in the game, so making a beam come out of his eyes, obviously, is already in the game. Colossus, you have Emma Frost right now, and she transforms into diamond form. So obviously you can have Colossus in the game transform. That's in the ability is there. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Beast, just really quick moving. So you could use him sort of like what Venom is. The way Venom swings around, he would just hop around a lot faster. Nightcrawler, you have an ability where we talked about this last night a little bit, where he would be an interesting like defense type of person. So we spoke about this last night. So I said, wouldn't it be cool if Nightcrawler could, his ability is that he can, so right now, if you play, let's say Thing, you could press LB and you go flying and you mark your guy and you put like a little shield around them, okay? Nightcrawler could do the same thing. Let's say he doesn't put a shield, but what he does is that he can save you, right? So all of a sudden you're in trouble. He looks at you, a little marker pops up, he says LB, he hits it, and all of a sudden you get teleported. He comes, grabs you like Mantis, and then pulls their teammate out. Or maybe does the opposite version of the other character, where all of a sudden he pulls the bad guy, maybe links the bad guy and pulls him and then teleports him away from putting his other partners in danger. You know what I mean? Like, this could be something really cool that they could do with this character. Doctor Strange already teleports, okay, through a portal, but Nightcrawler can do it with a quick move. That could be cool. Rogue, if she comes in the game, Mantis grabs people and drains them. Loki touches people and turns into them, and can do. So Rogue could do some sort of, inside the game with the mechanics that are already inside the game. Can touch you like Mantis, and then all of a sudden pulls the powers, then becomes like what Loki is, and then has the powers that you're doing. All these things are already in the game, and they can 100% do this. Gambit, I think, would be one of my favorite characters if you put him in the game, just because of his staff, just because of the cards that he has, the explosions and whatnot. Could be very, very cool. Jubilee, I'm not really excited about Jubilee. It'd be interesting to see what happens with her when they bring her in the game. Pasty Pot Pete, I don't know anything about him, right? Don't know anything about him. Trying to think of other ones here. Hitmonkey could be cool. Deadpool and Hitmonkey, I feel like almost would be the same. They both have guns, right? So now you're looking at like Winter Soldier type of thing, mixed between like a Punisher type of character. Maybe for Deadpool, maybe he does a quick little slice and stuff with his blades. The ones I'm most interested about, because Blade would be cool. I think Blade would be cool, right? Professor X would be definitely cool. He could have so many different abilities. As far as I said this yesterday, maybe his ult is one of these things where you put a point of interest. So think of Sue Storm, where she puts the invisibility cloak on. Think about the area of effect like that, or like a Jeff the Land Shark, where he can eat up people. But what Professor Xavier does, and again, I'm just speculating here. I'm just making up my own things here. Okay. If you put Professor Xavier in and where he can put an area around people, so let's say at the end you're almost about to lose, he can all of a sudden use the Cerebro, okay, as his ult ability or something, Cerebro, where all of a sudden, like Doctor Strange with the portal, and he can move it to a certain spot to drop it. Cerebro can actually go to a certain spot and take control of the group of people that's there, and makes them, freak out, and they start spreading outside the actual circle itself. You know what I mean? Maybe to hold the circle or something, or push people back more of a defensive mode. That would be pretty cool if they did something along the lines of that. I'm really excited about new characters coming in. I said this before the game even launched. The more the merrier. Put as many characters in. Put 12 in a year. Supposedly that's what they're doing in the first year. And, if they put in, look, we have another 1, 2, 3, right? And again, I think they should put 3 characters at one time inside a season. Don't wait for the 0.5, just because it's better for people to mix match new characters and get them into the cycle of people using them. So not everyone's running in to use Blade when Blade comes in, or not everyone's coming in to use Ultron when Ultron comes in. So with these characters, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So let's just say Cyclops. All of these characters I just showed you are all for next year, okay? And then Colossus comes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? There's another 10 right there, and that brings you till 2027. Okay, so we already have the characters that we're getting this year. We already get the next 12 that come out next year. So I think, look, you don't know if this game is going to be around for 5 years. You don't know if this game is going to be around for 3 years. So I think they're ramping up to get a lot more characters in this game sooner rather than later. And I think with the foundation they already have in the game, with the characters they've already chosen to put in the game, you can look at each and one of these characters and link it to one of those characters with their abilities, and you can change it or manipulate it to be like their loadout type of stuff. So a power from this, a power from that, which is already in the game, because a lot of the mutant powers are overlapped anyway, right? But these are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think in the live chat. What do you think about all these characters that could potentially be coming to the game, and who you're most excited for coming from this list? Now, obviously, it's a leaked list. It's a data mine list. Nothing's confirmed. But just as a fan, what are you, what are you a fan of? Who would you like to see? What do you think they should do? Do you think they should bring in more characters, like I said? Do you disagree with me and don't think they should put as many characters in? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me scroll back up. I was like choking halfway through there. All right. Let's go on, Worlds. Remember when X-Men, Robert Jones says, remember when X-Men were fighting the game and had Professor X fighting in a wheelchair, doing flips and shit? Yeah, yeah. We said last night, me and Argus were like, I want to see Professor X in the wheelchair. Right? I want him in the wheelchair. Right? Everyone's always pushing for like DEI stuff. Like the man's in a wheelchair. Put him in a wheelchair. I want to see the hover. I want to see the 97 hover wheelchair. He could be like Jeff the Land Shark moving around. Someone did a mod for him already. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Travis says, 30, did you see that the guy who was reading this list said who Jubilee is in chat tore into him? Did you see the guy who was reading this list said who is Jubilee? His chat tore into him. Oh, well, he didn't know. He didn't watch the cartoon. He didn't read the comics. I mean, I just don't understand what her abilities are gonna do. She could be cool. They could make her cool. I just want to know what is she gonna do? Is she gonna blind me? Is she gonna what is she gonna do? They likely made enough money to keep the servers online for another 5 years. I hope, Jones. We were talking about I want a PvE game mode. I want like a small strike. At the end of the season, you give me a boss battle. Like at the end of season 1, we would have fought Doom. End of season 2, we would have fought Dracula, like an event. That'd be cool. You get stuff. Right? You work as a team. And whoever you beat the boss with, they can give you like some sort of emblem or something for the character, or maybe a skin at the end of the whole thing. Who knows? Salty says that just say the more the merrier. The only downfall is the wait for them to arrive. Yeah. Ultron says, I bet this is why they're taking them so long to bring him. They might be also debating at the studio if they bring him in with the wheelchair or not. Well, I think you could do with wheelchair or without. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but obviously with one of his skins, if he's in the wheelchair, he's just floating. And then you would have to make the animation, obviously, which is easier said than done. But then make him where he's also, walking. I mean, I guess they can give him legs, but then he's floating, Oh, is she really? She's a vampire now? See, I didn't know that. Sorry for the hard candy in my mouth on the microphone. I know you guys can hear it. Apologies. Robert Jones says once profits dip, Netmarble or NetEase likely to pull the plug immediately. They did it in the past. Danny Wu was working on Marvel's Future Revolution, and as soon as that dipped in price, they got rid of it big time. That was the mobile game. This is exactly why, Jones, I think they should put as many people in as possible. Because if you don't put them in, you're just wasting it, right? At least if you put it in, you have the opportunity to get people excited. Because if you're a person, I've said this in the past, but if you're a person that's not playing Marvel Rivals right now, is there someone on this list, right? Is there someone on this list that you're looking to play or wait for to play? Maybe you're a MODOK fan. Maybe you're a Captain Marvel fan. Maybe you're a Deadpool fan. Maybe you're a Daredevil fan. Okay? You're like, I don't want to play. I don't have my favorite character in. All of a sudden, they get that one character in there, and all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I want to give it a shot. Boom. You're in. Okay? So if you keep the same characters in, you're never going to get a new player base because the player base likes the characters or they don't like the characters. But if you bring in a new character, you bring in Cyclops, I'm in. Right? You bring in Cyclops, you bring in Nightcrawler, you bring in Gambit, I'm there. Yeah, Gambit's on there. Yeah. So if you bring one of these characters in, someone that's not playing the game or maybe try the game is like, I'll just wait for a character I like. Boom. Brings them right back in. Let's see. Robert Jones says, nope, only my friends can convince me to play. You want to play, Jones? You want to play? Come on, let's play. Jones is like, you're not my friend. Fair point. Fair point. Drummond says, when's the new characters coming? They just put one in. Emma Frost is in the game right now. Emma Frost just got in on Friday, I think. And then the second character, Ultron, comes in about 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks. They should put not Jessica Jones, but they could put Gamora in there. She's the only one that's not on the Guardians of the Galaxy. Her and Drax. Like, where's Drax? Jason Marshall says, 30, did you see the zombie skin? I did. I posted in Discord yesterday. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness makes me hope they do the Marvel zombie event when Halloween comes. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Like just a horde mode of zombies. That would be interesting. I'm here for it. Ultron says they say Ultron comes in May. Well, yeah, he comes at the end of May. It'd be 6 weeks. Right? Is it 5 weeks or 6 weeks they put him in? Here, let me see. Let's look at the schedule. Right now, it started on the 11th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So he would come into the game May 23rd. May 23rd would be the 6th week. May 30th. All right, that could be as well. It's a Friday. That would be the 7th week, though. Let me just count that again. Because on the 11th, 18th, 1 week, 25th, 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd. I'm going to say the 23rd. I'm going to go against them. I'm going to say the 23rd. Game is cool. I just don't like Overwatch style hero shooters very much. Krebsy says, after seeing one scene from Daredevil on that crazy stuff that would do for Punisher show, if you know what I know. If you know what you know. I haven't seen anything, so I don't know anything. I heard the Daredevil show, episode 1's good, episode 8 is good. Everything in between, 8 negates everything. That's what I hear. Is Daredevil over now? They only had 8 episodes, that was it? Nine episodes? Okay, so did the 9th episode already happen, or just the 8th? Is there one more week, or no? Am I going to try Painkiller? No, I don't do meds. What's Painkiller? Is that a single-player game? Multiplayer game? What is that? Final release yesterday? Okay. The viewership didn't do very good. Viewership didn't do very good, and they already filmed season 2, so. Because they originally had 12 episodes, and while they were filming, or they had, was it 12 or 16 episodes? They originally were going to do 16 episodes, and then they canceled halfway through, or they filmed 10, canceled the whole show, redid it, and then started with the 9. Well, put in general, Painkiller. Painkiller. We didn't even get to the Minecraft story. I mean, that's Doom. I mean, that's Doom. Oh, it's a Doom-like game. Yep. Doom, but co-op. Looks interesting. Looks cool. Real quick, not real quick, but it's a short story, not really a story. Just want to show you what's coming out on if you're a person on Xbox Game Pass. What's coming soon? Can I make this bigger? No, we just scroll down. All right, so available today we have Grand Theft Auto 5 over on Game Pass. We got SpongeBob SquarePants, the Star game. We have Crime Scene Cleaner. We got Tempo Po. Yeah, Tempo Po. We have Expedition 33, which comes out April 24th. We got Towerborn coming out April 29th. We got Far Cry 4 coming out April 30th. We got Anno 1800 coming out May 1st. We got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 coming out May 1st. We got Dredge. Oh, I wanted to play that game. That's coming out May 6th. And then you got Doom coming out in May, right? As well over on Game Pass. So, in case you missed it, EA Sports NHL 25 is already available now. You got DLC and game updates for Forza Horizon Realms, April 25th. You got Call of Duty Warzone Game Pack 1, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Perks, Nakura Blade Point, and then leaving you have a Nice Death, Kona 2, Sniper Elite 5, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, Thirsty Suitors, oh thank God, and the Rewinder. Those are the games that are leaving. So there you go. That's lots of games coming out. So each week you got something. Each week you got something coming out. If you're paying for Game Pass here. All right, so there you go. Got lots of games. Yeah, tonight's with Sarge. Shooting the shit with Sarge. We're playing Borderlands 3 tonight. All right, real quick. The other two stories that we have, which will take us to about 12:30. We got Warner Brothers and we got Minecraft stories here. Okay, if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. So it says new sequels, right? Warner Brothers, which we know is not the best. Having a bad time in video games, having a bad time in the movie industry, having a bad time in TV shows. They're just having a bad time. In debt, can't make a good hit. Well, they're going back to the bag of remasters, remakes, and whatnot. Okay, so new sequels to Matrix, to Beetlejuice, to Gremlins, and The Goonies are underway. Okay, so Warner Brothers has faced some harsh realities at the box office in the press release in recent years. But after a few recent smash hits, the studio is full steam ahead. And once again, as a Minecraft movie passes $500 million globally box office, Warner Brothers chief have confirmed they're ramping up production for sequels of several beloved franchises. Okay, The Goonies, Beetlejuice, which came out last year, I think, Beetlejuice. Now they're going to make a Beetlejuice the Third. We got Goonies 2 coming out. We got The Matrix. We got The Gremlins, are all amongst the properties getting fresh installments in the years to come. Warner Brothers Pictures co-chairs Pam Abbey and Michael DeLuca have confirmed to Deadline, also receiving new installments in some of these Practical Magic 1999 witch drama starring Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman and Whitney Houston, Kevin Costner romantic vehicle, The Bodyguard. Okay, so we have The Matrix coming out. Matrix 5. Okay, we got Beetlejuice 3. We got Goonies 2 and Gremlins 3. Like, I'm not excited. I'm not excited for this. I'm not excited. I think they're going to screw up Goonies big time. I'm a big Goonies guy, if you guys didn't know. Okay? Like, literally, my logo is based off of the Goonies, right? Like, I hate the fact that they're making Goonies 2. I hate the fact that they're making a Gremlins 3. Like, just let them be. I understand that Beetlejuice did good for them last year, but it's like, can we just get original? Can we go back to the 80s where Beetlejuice was, or the 90s, whatever? Beetlejuice was original. Goonies was original. Gremlins was original at its time. Now you're either going to reboot it or you're going to make Gremlins 3, and it's not going to be the same. Clips, right? I'm not excited. The last Matrix sucked so bad. Okay, the last Matrix was terrible. Right? I just think Warner Brothers is just off. Okay, and here, they have Minecraft right now, right? And because Minecraft is doing well, that leads us into the next topic of video game franchises are now ripe for the picking because of what Minecraft is doing at the box office, right? Because Mario was a franchise that actually had a coherent story or whatnot. Minecraft was just a bunch of slapped scenes on a screen, and it was memeable, and it was a TikTok craze, and it's still doing very well, okay? It's going to break $1 billion most likely. I predicted $1.1 billion before the movie even came out, okay? But video game franchises are now ripe for the picking, and why Minecraft movie could lead the games taking over Hollywood, which I think is a bad sign, by the way. I love Minecraft as a video game. I did not love the movie Minecraft because this is not what I want for my video game movies. Okay, so let's see what this says. Box office analysts expect Minecraft movie to make 70 to 90 million on its opening weekend in the U.S. Instead, it made 157 million and now passed $500 million worldwide following the second weekend. Not bad for a movie that was also stuck in development hell for years and years, almost 10, passing between different directors before leading it to Napoleon Dynamite's Jared Hess. Okay. The success of the film clearly took some of by surprise, but anyone who turned into the continuous success of Minecraft is perhaps less taken back. I'm not surprised. I said it looks terrible. I don't think it's going to do very well. Like it doesn't look good. I said, but it's going to break $1 billion. Is what I said months and months and months ago. Okay. So Minecraft itself is a culture juggernaut. Over 300 million copies sold, and the fan base spanning kids and adults who also been building a pixelated empire for years. Okay. The box office analyst Exhibitor Relations tells GameIndustry.biz. He says, quote, the massive built-in audience hype for anything with creepers and diamond pickaxes the film leaned into, which is the star-studded cast, Jack Black, Jason Momoa, also probably pulled in the casual viewers who trusted those names, also started in mirror comparable things. It said the film's success seems significant in a year where movies based in traditional family-friendly Hollywood properties like Snow White and Captain America Brave New World are falling apart. Minecraft has a unique young skewed audience, okay, which also Hollywood tends to find a lot of box office success following the footfall challenge of the post-pandemic era. It says, quote, I think Minecraft movie only exceeded expectations for traditional movie analysts and critics who, dare I say, have been mostly in their own bubble, says Ray Elliott, head of marketing analyst. Okay, he says, quote, anybody with an interest in games market or who also raised a young child in your past decade knew Minecraft would be a hit movie. Okay, a number of copies of Minecraft has also been sold roughly equal to the U.S. population. Listen to this. Okay, you know what they're not bringing up? The other video game movie that came out just a couple of months before. Imagine Minecraft didn't come out, or Minecraft bombed. Then you had a 1-2 punch, right? You had Borderlands, which is a beloved franchise, but it bombed at the box office terribly. Okay, and then you have Minecraft that came out, and obviously I knew the baked-in audience. I said that's why they're making a movie, hence why I thought it would make $1 billion. Okay, I play Minecraft. I know Minecraft. Okay, I've been playing it for as long as my son's been alive and before that, which is over 10 years. Okay, I've been playing it since 2009 when it was in early access. I was like, this movie is going to make $1 billion because of just the baked-in audience. But can imagine that they're not even bringing up Borderlands. Borderlands was a bomb, right? Borderlands is one of the worst movies ever created, and it's a video game adaptation. Okay, so it says Box says that Minecraft movie's success is also results of Studio Warner Brothers picking the right release window and marketing the film correctly. As an adaptation to its connecting to the audience, regardless of the knowledge of Minecraft, it's not the critics who dictated it with the 46 average on Rotten Tomatoes or more seasoned film fans on the Letterboxd app. It's also where a 2.8 out of 5 user score, because that's what it is. It literally is a bad movie, but it's a Minecraft movie. Mostly importantly, there's timing. April 2025 meant spring break crowds and no major competing blockbusters. Warner Brothers marketed this hard with trailers dropping early September of 2024 to build up hype. Plus, Minecraft open-ended vibe lets the filmmaker get creative, blending games lore and fish out a water story that didn't alienate non-players. Okay, video game adaptations breaking into the mainstream is not a new thing, the point either TV or film, but the unprecedented scale of Mario and Minecraft movies. What about Sonic? Sonic did very well with 3 movies. Okay, success changed the conversation around feature films and more specifically. It says, quote, the Mario movie was the biggest turning point to the studios releasing the potential of games, Elliott says. It grossed over $1.3 billion worldwide, making it not only the biggest game adaptation ever, but it's also the second biggest animated movie of Sonic trilogy. It has also been huge. Listen, these people are talking about Mario like it's like came out of the blue. They're like, who would have thought that Mario would have made money? Mario's been around since 1984, or earlier than that, really, with Donkey Kong and whatnot, when Mario Brothers, and then Mario, the actual NES, right? Super Mario Brothers. Like, this is a 40-year franchise. It's not like Mario wasn't going to do good. Now, obviously, the Mario movie that they had back in the 90s with John Leguizamo, okay, was terrible because it was a live-action adaptation, which they're doing now to a lot of movies, which is an abomination to a lot of these things, right? But the cartoon Mario movie, it's a 40-year franchise. It's not a surprise to anybody that Mario did well, okay? Now even the naysaying movies executives will be convinced, Elliott says. Coincidence or not, it was a sign of confidence that the movie of A24 revealed that the director of the Death Stranding adaptation one day after Minecraft's opening weekend haul. While the crossover audience demographic between the two is likely minimal, video games remains relatively untapped by Hollywood and offer cinemagoers the kinds of worlds they also never seen on the big screen before. Now, I don't think Death Stranding is going to do what Mario did by any means, but we'll see, okay? The key thing here, of course, is the adaptation needs to be right. Superhero movies have been arguably declined in quality over the past 5 years, suggesting that diminishing box office returns aren't just tied to wanting to interest in the subject matter. Videos adaptation are equally, if they're not good enough. Movie and TV studios should not look into gaming as a silver bullet. They are, though. They're like, oh, they like Mario and Minecraft, so let's make everything. What's that? Let's make it, right? There was offers for Split Fiction and whatnot, which I think would be a pretty good movie. All right, Minecraft and Pokemon are the biggest brands of all time. Mario, Minecraft, and Pokemon are the biggest brands of all time and huge generation-spanning fan bases. Both IP licenses and licensors also need to treat the source material with respect or risk diluting the IP in question and reputation of the adapting studios. Imagine if Borderlands followed the respecting the IP in question, huh? It says, quote, gamers are not an IP slot machine, and their fandoms should be respected. That's right. Things need to be authentic and respect the fandom. Going forward, we expect to see more poor video game adaptations from studios that are looking to jump in on the trends. Borderlands, anyone? Hype train without planning their approach properly, which we saw with Borderlands movie. There you go. Right? Such products, which also, of course, outshine the success stories, though it's always are. Nobody talking about Borderlands movie anymore. No one's talking about it. You know what was another shitty movie back in the day? Final Fantasy. Right? The Final Fantasy movie was an absolute travesty. It was terrible. Okay, we're talking about the Mario, now Minecraft ones for years. Okay, it says, Elliott suggested the magic combination of mixing the fitting of original IP, catering to the diehard fans' authentic way, releasing the right time, and being accessible enough for new audiences to parse what's going on. It seems obvious, but a lot can go wrong with the making of the movie. Still fulfilling those criteria and enable Minecraft to avoid being touched by the cooler critic reception. Bach says that the takes for these movies succeed and similar. The numbers speak for themselves. Huge fan base in Hollywood listens, giving hardcore gamers exactly what they wanted. Don't rock the boat, just float it. You would hope, okay? So, obviously, the Assassin's Creed movie that came out also bombed at the box office, okay? So, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to read the rest of this, right? We'll see what happens as far as other movies that come out, right? Just looking at some of this, right? I can see Split Fiction. Monster Hunter also bombed at the box office, if you guys remember that. Yeah, Monster Hunter was a movie. Okay, Monster Hunter bombed at the movies, right? Sometimes video games don't need to have a movie. They don't need to have a movie. They just need to have a video game because sometimes the video game is the best best way to watch it or play it, because not only you can tell a much longer story, it's sort of like what they're doing with television shows, right? Sometimes you put it in the theaters, but sometimes you need a little bit more storytelling. So you put it on television and then have 10 episodes, 15 episodes, or whatever it is, okay? This is going to go disastrous. It's going to be a disaster. Because Minecraft is making a shit ton of money, Hollywood-centric people are going to start looking at other IPs, what they can grab, and they're going to grab everything and anything. Everything and anything. A movie comes out, they're like, we can make a movie of that. How many sales does that have? We can maybe make a movie of that. That's what's going to happen. That's the lesson that Hollywood's learned here. Okay? They don't know that Minecraft's been around for 14 years, okay? And that there's 300 million people that play the game, and it's one of the largest games ever created. They didn't realize that Mario had a 40-year fan base, right? They just think that, oh, well, if we just follow the story and put it out there, then it'll be fine, right? They're absolutely going to destroy every single IP possible. And every once in a while, again, we'll go back to the movie analogy thing, okay? Let's say they make 10 video game movies. 7 of them are going to bomb. 2 of them will make money, and 1 will be a blockbuster. And if Minecraft is that blockbuster, the next 8 movies or 9 movies are not going to be very good. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that the movie industry has learned the wrong lesson from Minecraft? Are we going to have more movies like Borderlands than we do have of Minecraft or Mario? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you like what I do here, please make sure you check out some of the other videos. Thanks for watching. Travis says, there is no Monster Hunter movie. Don't you lie. Are you being serious? Are you being serious, Travis? Sarge says, Borderlands movie could have been really good, but these suits don't understand the game and follow the charts. Cast, story, humor, all trash. They wrote it like a Guardians or a B movie. Wow, I don't even think they wrote it like a Guardians movie. Titan says Borderlands should have followed the Fallout TV's vibe. Yeah, that would have been good. How dare you insult the sacred Final Fantasy? The movie sucked. The movie absolutely sucked. Yeah, that movie was horrible. Even as a kid, I didn't even like the movie. Oh, you're talking? Yeah. Was big Final Fantasy back then. Yeah, the Final Fantasy movie was absolutely horrendous. I'm waiting for a Mortal Kombat 2 movie. That's happening. It's happening. I'll be honest, it wasn't a bad film. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Let's see here. Oh, you're saying you're just acknowledging it doesn't exist, is what you're saying, Travis. I get it. I get it. No. The Final Fantasy movie I'm talking about, what was it called? Spirits something, right? It was like Spirits. Was it Spirits Within? Yeah, Roic. Yeah, Spirits Within was horrible. Let me see. Hold on. A lot of you probably don't even remember this one. It came out in 2001. 2001. This thing was Garbo. Okay? Garbo. The budget was $137 million. It made a worldwide of $85 million. It was terrible. We were so stoked by that. We're like, oh my God, a Final Fantasy movie. Oh my God, we all went to see it, and that was it. No one else see it to see it. Did they tell you the domestic? Let's see what it made. Domestic box office. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. It made $5 million. Here, just to show you what was a. Here, hold on. Snow White in its opening made 3 times the amount of Final Fantasy on its opening day. Hold up. Let's make what was another one? What was the other one? Mario Brothers, 1993. That made more money. That made more money than Final Fantasy did on its opening day. But that's actually that's a whole weekend, by the way. That's the 28th through the 31st. Hold on. Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, yeah, that one was good. Yeah, but the one that came out in theaters, the Final Fantasy, oh, God, it's so bad. So bad. That's what we're going to get. Hollywood's going to see the signs and be like, oh, yeah, we're going for that. They're like, oh, yeah, they want stupid humor. They want stupid things. We got to make it more like Minecraft. We got to make it more like Minecraft. This movie had fuck all to do with Final Fantasy. Yeah, nothing. It was Final Fantasy by name on the title. That was it. It was so bad. Hell, what did Doom do? The Rock Doom. It actually I think did pretty good. 2005. Oh no. Oh no. It bombed. It bombed dramatically. Doom movie made 5.8 million opening day. It made 13 million, 14 million opening weekend. It only made 58 million worldwide. Done. This is what we're going to get more of. We're going to get more of this type of movie than we are of like Mario or Sonic. Robert Jones says, if you look at the video game movies now, only 30% are good. Right. Which falls in line. 10 films, 3 make money, 2 make somewhat, and 1 makes really good. Everything else, 70% of them are garbage. That's exactly right. They gotta make Zelda a cartoon. They gotta do the same animation style as Nintendo, as Super Mario. Any movie they make, if they make a Metroid, if they make a Zelda, I do not want a live action adaptation of it. I want cartoon style of the things. I want to reminisce like I'm a child, take my kid, go see myself, right? Go to the theater, watch Zelda, watch Metroid, watch whatever else they make, and put it in cartoon form. Do not make it a live action. Oh, yeah. No, Final Fantasy had really good special effects and stuff like that for the CGI. World says, I watched Doom in theaters, but I forgot most of it because I was high on shrooms and weed. That's understandable. It's understandable. Metroid just had no. We'll be living in action with Bree Utter. See you next Tuesday, Larson. I mean, I'll be honest. I can see her doing the role. But I don't want live action. I don't want live action. I want cartoon. But I can also see a Metroid live action. Give me animated. Give me animated. One, it brings in the children, brings in the adults that liked it when they were kids. It brings in their kids, so you're getting 4 tickets, 3 tickets, 4 tickets when you go. You're making more money. You got to keep the budget down, though, right? Live action works for Metroid, sure, but I would like to see more of a. Did you ever watch the Castlevania show on Netflix? That'd be a cool animated style. But I can also see them doing it like the new Transformers movie, Jones. If they made a Metroid in that type of animation style, like the new Transformers, I could see it doing pretty well. Wasn't the results I was aiming for, but I'm hoping for a Zelda movie. But I was also pissed if they mess it up, considering it's my favorite gaming franchise. Yeah, that's exactly what they would do. If it's an actress behind it or actor or an actress behind it, they would have to have their helmet off the entire time. Altern says, hot take, the Monster Hunter movie was good if you remove the present time scenes. If they kept it full just inside the game, the movie is decent to good. I mean, I guess, sure, Altern, if you can physically remove something that's in the movie, take out that parts, then in that case, episodes 8 and 9 are not that bad. If you just remove everything that I didn't like about the movie and it was just about 2 minutes long, I think it's a great movie. If you just remove Rey, Finn, Poe, Kylo, yeah, I think it's a great movie. I think the whole series of 7, 8, and 9 is a much better film if you remove all those people. Jason says, I like Resident Evil movie, as good as bad movies, but Welcome to the Raccoon City was utter dog shit. What was the one on Netflix, right? There was one on Netflix for Resident Evil? I heard that was terrible. I didn't watch it. But I'm not a Resident Evil guy, so. Right? Wasn't there a series of Resident Evil on Netflix? Or am I thinking of a different series? I know the Resident Evil is Djokovic, whatever her name is. Lilu Multipass. Lilu. Yeah, we get it. My parents are like, we love Pedro as Joel. I kind of want to warn them he's coming, but nah, let him. Just let him. Pull your phone out. Record them when it happens and then post it. Jason says the TV series is total dog shit. Only Resident Evil in name. Yeah, I hate when they do that. All right. It's 12:30 chat. That is going to do it for me today. I do appreciate you. We'll be back tonight over on 30 and still. Actually, you know what? Real quick, I have a question for you guys. Right, because we do the gameplay over on 30 and Still Gaming. It actually makes no difference. I just kind of want your input. You can tell me here, or you can tell me in the feedback in our Discord, okay? Because you guys know I'm friends with Lono, and Lono got his channel back on Twitch. I never lost my channel. I just stopped going to Twitch, okay? I was thinking about putting my gameplay and dual streaming, so it's still on 30 and Still Gaming for the channel. But do you guys think I should put it back over on Twitch, just the gameplay stuff? We're not talking about this show or anything like that. Just the gameplay stuff. Do you think I should put that back over on Twitch and do dual stream at the same time? We were doing Twitter and YouTube at the same time. I don't really like Twitch. I don't. Right? But at the same time, I'm partnered over there. I'm leaving money on the table. So I don't know if I want to put stuff over there, but if I do, I was just thinking my gameplay, because the gameplay doesn't really get a lot of traction over here on YouTube. It just got me thinking. Path of Exile movie when? Oh, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know why they haven't made a Diablo movie yet. Yeah, the last time it's been 3 years since the last time I was on Twitch. And we might do something. I'm in talks with Hilly. We might do something with Hilly on Tuesdays afternoons, like this time, at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon for like 2 hours. So for like 1 to 3, I might play the new RuneScape game with Hilly on stream. But I'm trying to figure out if I want to do it or not. So we might be doing that with him. Altered says you could try it. So like you said, gameplay doesn't get too much people here on YouTube. Yeah, it doesn't do very good at all. Even after the fact, it just doesn't do it. Oh, if you do that, let me know. I'll join the server. Such a good game. Just try and see how it goes. Maybe we'll start it. Maybe we'll start it next week. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe next Monday night we'll dual stream from YouTube and Twitch, and we'll see how that works. Well, that's true. But here's I mean, you watch what you want to watch. I just want to make sure that, look, I really like YouTube. I like the whole thing of YouTube. I'm not a very social person, like teaming up with people over there and whatnot. So it would just be gameplay over there. I like doing the live show here. Yes, I could do it over there as well, but I like what I've built here. I like what I built here. Gameplay over here, though, is just like a void of nothing. It's like you play it and you just throw it out the window. At least if you do it over there, people come and watch, and then the past broadcasts, these are like just VODs over here, because no one watches VODs over there. Nobody watches VODs over there at all. Yeah, so tonight, Borderlands 3 with Sarge, shooting the shit with Sarge. We'll be playing some more Borderlands 3 tonight over on 30 and Still Gaming. To answer your question, Eclipse, my channel is the same name as 30 and Still Gaming over on Twitch. 30 and Still Gaming is my channel over there. So, yeah, we'll be back tonight for Borderlands 3 with Sarge, 8 p.m. tonight. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. We appreciate it very much. I'll see you guys on the next one or tonight. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty, tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Laughs and news, our winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Shine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun below. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From bits of small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand.